What up, everyone? How's it going? Good evening for those who live in a similar time zone as me. So, I'm taking on another ambitious project today. We'll see how far I get into it. I can't promise that we'll get through the whole thing because it is a little lengthy. And I will be cheating because I will be using a YouTube video that I will recommend to everyone. I don't typically do this type of dual booting. What I usually do when I do a dual boot is I allow the Linux partition to own it. In this case, because I believe SteamOS doesn't quite own the whole partitioning thing yet, that meaning that it doesn't have the dual booting capabilities yet. They're going to work on it. And so we have to use a third-party tool for this. Plus, on top of it, if we format the thing, everything right into BTRFS, you're going to be able to play games on both, like share the games on the SD card or whatever between the two operating systems, which is what I want. And I do have two SD cards, SSD or NVMe drives. I will be using, I installed my old one back in, but I'm using the new one, so I retain my old state. Okay, so let's do some welcoming in of peeps. Let's see here. Everything's a mess today, so don't mind me. Welcome Wolf Garcia. What's up? Tarlung Blind Eye. Welcome to this one. Glad you made it. Julian. Cool. Let's see here. Simple Meanings. Did I make it? You did make it. Yeah, so it looks like we have a couple people that made it that might not have been able to make it in the past. So, yeah, today's going to be an interesting one, and the title of it might be a little. It's not really deceiving. It's just we're gonna do this. So, just as a reference, Deck Wizard actually has a really good tutorial, and I'll throw it into. Let's see if it'll let me do this. That's the tutorial I'm going to be using. Emilio, hey. Welcome. So, yeah. In fact, come to think of it, where is my deck actually? Okay. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. I'm going to go find my deck. Okay. I found the deck. Don't worry. It was in my backpack because I was using it earlier today at another part of my house. And when I do that, I usually keep it in my backpack. Okay. Yes. So, we got the NVMe drive. Check. Let's see. We might need to move this over this way. So, got the NVMe drive. Got my sticks. I'm not going to mix them up. I think this is the Windows one. Okay. Well, I already mixed them up. Okay, and then I need to install the last thing. So I'm installing Windows 11, which I already technically have. I'm installing the SteamOS over first. And we're gonna. I'm gonna cheat during this, so don't get too upset. We're gonna watch a little bit of a YouTube tutorial just to make sure I get it right, because this is I watched some of it. I haven't been able to finish the whole thing, so we're gonna kind of reference it as we get going along. So, while I'm talking, gparted is one of the things that I need to install real quick. So, okay, is it frozen for everyone? I don't know. My thing's kind of showing that it's frozen. Huh. Sorry, I'm just checking the health of the stream and all that. Yo, big homie. Hey, Doubler, how's it going? Yeah, if I would have like Necrosphere, hey everyone, what do you think of the first look at the Aya Neo Next 2? Got trackpads and all the deck. Interested in your thoughts on it. Yeah, you guys are more than welcome to. Okay, good. I'm not frozen. I'm just, things are lagging. Okay, I get what's going on. I'm going to, as we get going into this, there's going to be times where we're going to have to pause. We're going to do field trips while we're paused, and we're going to talk about that because that is ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to it. I don't know what to say. Okay, so let me get this gparted installed real quick. And then once we get the I'll share my screen eventually. I'm just going to get this done real quick. Okay, using Rufus to do it. I'll share more of the process and whatnot once we get going a little bit further. And once again, like you're going to be able to reference, if you need to do this too, you can reference the video that I threw into the comments, and I'm going to put it in the description after this too. So, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Do we have everything set up? So, how's everyone doing today while I'm getting this going? Okay, we got that going now. So, it's recommended to have the keyboard, which I have a keyboard right here, and I also have everything else I should need. A mouse, which I don't know if you're going to need a mouse too much, and just a bunch of other junk. Let's see here. Okay, yes, yes, I could use Ventoy or Ventoy. This is kind of how I'm pronouncing it. I don't know if I can do it on the deck if you don't have a Windows machine. I do have a Windows machine, and I do know about that route, which is an awesome route. Jay, crazy. Got my email for the Steam Deck Monday and got my shipping email today. Almost there. Yes, awesome. Love hearing that. And if you haven't heard yet, I still want to do a video on it. They have ramped up production on the Steam Deck, so you should be able to. I don't know what that means. Like I don't know if that was expected to ramp up production, meaning everyone in Q3 is still going to get it at the same time, or if people in Q3 are going to get it even faster because every week they're doing double of what they were doing before. So it's crazy what's going on. And hopeful too. I do think that they're not going to go through years of reservations. I do think if there's enough demand and they know it, they're going to be able to ramp up and have those reservations fulfilled with under a year. I'd hope, but you never know everything. This is not a Steam Deck whatever process live stream, but I mean it's a Steam Deck live stream. It's just not that one. Yeah. So is everyone? Yeah. Kind of curious on who in the stream is waiting for their Steam Deck and who isn't. Yeah, Jay, I kind of figured it was you, Rice. Yeah, I was hoping that you would join, Rice. So, Rice is from the Discord channel too. He helps out a lot with that, and he's helped someone do this before. I haven't done this yet. I'm still at Q3 July sub. Cool. Julian. Yeah. Yeah, my second device is midway through Q3, according to the calculator. Okay. We got everything set up. Got my drives. Ooh. Well, one of the drives might not be good anymore. Let's find out. Okay, let's test this other camera. Yeah. Just turning on my secondary camera. I think it's should turn on, unless it's dead. Yeah. So, yeah, with the new... Oh, there we go. Finally got it to work. Okay. Okay. Got to move crap over. I need my desk to be like more multi-camera ready. Get all the hair off of it. Let's see here. Yeah, that's two. We're gonna bump this up. Okay. Let me get some of those cords out of the way. So, turn this off for a second. Crazy. As long as the FedEx doesn't delay it, mine is projected to arrive Saturday. That would be great since I have a 3-day weekend. That would be awesome. It is a holiday this weekend for some of us. Hey, Black Worm. Welcome. Okay. So, what we need to do first, before anything, is we're going to need to... Wow, I thought I was more prepared for this. Give me 1 second. Ugh. Need to get my... I gotta redo the SSD. Or NVMe, whatever. So, we're gonna dive back into opening up the device. Move all my stuff this way. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use my my Anchor one because this one has my NVMe in it, and I just don't want to accidentally format that. I think that would be a bad thing. And I wouldn't put it past me to have the deck recognize it and then me accidentally select the wrong thing. Okay. So... So, man, I thought this was going to be... Huh. Oh, well, that's good enough. So, like last time, we're going to unscrew this, do the whole shebang. We're going to do this a lot quicker than last time, I have a feeling. You should try it this way. The waiting is taking forever. Yeah. There's some peeps that, man, they're waiting. Huh. I'm going to have to pop this camera up. I was expecting this camera to... Maybe that's it. So... Thank you. Yeah, and I'm also gonna power it off. Let's power it off. So yeah, I probably. Oh my gosh, I think I had a game running. Yeah, I did. Oh well. If I destroy my Steam Deck, I guess I'll just buy a new one, right? In a couple of years. Crazy working right now. Hey, I get it, man. I love watching streams and working too. Hey, Crazy Tamal. Hey, yeah. Hey, Crazy. Breaking. Don't forget to remove it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No. I'm so glad. You guys had to do that for me last time. I don't know if it was you, Wolf, but someone told me to remove my drive, and I almost forgot. Again. Yeah. So, for me, in some ways, I wish I had a 512 gigabyte. Like, I don't know if I'd want to spend 1 terabyte. I think I would rather save that money up and buy the really expensive 2 terabyte if I really want to get that space. Because I do so many different projects on this, that's why I'd want more space. Honestly, if I was doing this mainly for games and not to screw around too much, I probably would just stick with the basic SteamOS. I wouldn't be doing this, but this is a fun project, and I know that some of you guys like really want to play some Windows games on it, and someone, like, to be honest, Windows runs pretty good on the Steam Deck. I was really surprised, albeit I still think SteamOS is better. But did you text me to remove it? Last time you did, right? Oh, hey. My phone was in essentially airplane mode. Okay. I mean, if I bust a chip, it's not like it's only $60. That's the one downside, like, to doing this is that, well, and actually another reason I want to do this is because I have a drive over here that I want to be able to plug and copy to my SD card. It's full of a ton of games. It's a external drive that's an 8 terabyte. And I want to be able to use it to store and, go back and forth and stop buying so many SD cards. I do have I have a couple SD cards that I'm going to probably have dedicated to, like, I have one for Resident Evils. I'm going to be doing a Resident Evil video. And I plan on always wanting to be able to play my Resident Evils. Bisexual Blurred. I bought a 1 terabyte on eBay preparing for my Steam Deck. Yeah, it's too pricey for me right now. Well, I mean, it's a little pricey. Necrosphere. I'm going to bump this up because I feel like this is still too low. This is going to be an all-day event at this rate. Okay, so Argon the Panda. First stream I've seen of yours. Love your videos. They make the day less boring. It is not a new skin. This one right here, this is the camo, the black camo. And I actually love this skin. I think I'm going to replace the front with it. Because I also do like the orange. Because, I was kind of going for Half-Life, right? Oh, there's a new calculator, huh? So there's the insides of my deck. They've been exposed twice now on stream and 3 times to me. Let's see here. But yeah, Argon the Panda, I'm glad they make your day a little less boring. That makes me good to hear. What content have you guys been enjoying me do? Streams, or you've been enjoying more of just the news, or my walkthroughs, whatever it is? Like, I've been enjoying doing the news a little bit more, like, especially some of the, like, really cool things going on. Let's see, I already took that one out. Like, if you've seen some of my stuff, you already know that I'm pretty, like, that's not down a bit size. Oh, Scissor-Uppy. I'm putting the Half-Life skin on mine. Yeah, no, I honestly, actually, maybe it needs to go up. Blackworm, do you plan on keeping Windows on there long term? I do, actually. Well, technically, the drive I'm about to install does have Windows already. Because I've already done this project kind of once. And I wish I would have done it this way. But yeah, it's don't let's not strip. No stripping. So don't mind me. Man, there's so much dog hair. Don't have a dog. Actually do have a dog. They're adorable. Okay. We're going to pop this thing off. So just a couple of hints, as I did last time. Always make sure to unplug the power as soon as you can. That's a very, very important tip. And then let's go ahead and install the 2042 drive. Just kidding. So the 20... Let's see. So they got up to... Let's take this off. You also don't want to slap anything with your with anything metal. You don't want anything connecting in here. Even though it is not connected to the battery, the capacitors and some stuff, items on the board can still hold a charge. Just be careful. I wouldn't say I'm the most careful ever, but yeah. Man, I can't believe someone did a 2042 on this thing, size-wise. Going to get an Aperture Science skin once the mythical after Q3. Yeah. Argon, that is a cool skin, actually. I love Half-Life. I like Half-Life a lot more than Portal. I love Portal, though. And I would actually do the Portal one over the Half-Life one. I don't feel like the Half-Life one had enough effort put into it, where the Portal one was honestly a little cliche for Portal, was still pretty cool. Now, this drive is it's a 256 gigabyte. It's not like it's anything special. It's not like it's even a lot of space. But, oh yeah, let's make sure we put that sleeve back on. I love NVMe drives. And then, honestly, I think this is the... I know I wasn't paying attention when I took this off. I think this is the screw for this. Julian likes the news. I enjoy the news and the commentary stuff. I do. That's probably my favorite. I do guides and walkthroughs because it's been requested so much. And I like doing it, but to be honest, they take so much more work. And just because I have, my day job, and then I work on my video game when I can. I'm going to be doing that a lot more next month. It's just, I like the news a little bit more because I get to do the other stuff more. Jay, mostly because everything you download on Windows and desktop mode goes into your SSD, so it will fill it up if you keep files. I'm assuming I missed something on that. I have, okay. Don't forget to hit the power button a few times to get rid of the residual juice. Well, I didn't hit it a few times. I did turn it off, though. So, yeah. Successfully, potentially. Okay. Well, power button went on. We connected it. Make sure it is fully connected. Fully flush. Yeah, it is. The reason I say that is because, and this device doesn't like bend a lot, but if it does, connectors, if not connected fully, if it just bends a little bit, even there's some connector over here that might not be fully connected, it can power off just randomly. So you're like, oh wait, my deck's dead. It's just powering off whenever I do something with it. And the reason I say that is because the MacBooks, a lot of versions of MacBooks had issues like that with both their power and also the display. And I've had to fix that many times on my MacBooks over the years, which, you know, I feel like Apple did on purpose so they can make a shitload of money off us. Okay. And I use a MacBook because it's really good for it's the only thing you can do really for mobile if you want to do iOS development. And I have had companies that required me to use it. So for web development, when I've done web development, I am neglecting chat now. Blind Eye, I ordered a bigger NVMe drive ahead of time. I was surprised by just how small they are, like a stamp. Yes, they are like a little bit bigger than a stamp, but yeah. Then Emilio, news updates, Dis, Linux, and gaming, since I'm not too familiar with Linux. Left 4 Dead 2 is $1 right now. This news is my favorite for sure. Well, I am glad to hear that you guys like the news. News is also like, it's one of those tricky ones because it is fun to do and the commentary I like. But it's also hard to do because you have to keep up on everything, right? You got to keep up on the news. And sometimes, with my new job, I usually take breaks at lunch to do the news, and I just haven't been doing that lately. So I plan on doing that again, probably in the near future. Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that people like the news. I do know that anything Steam Deck related gets the most attention, of course. So got this all set up. I believe it's going to work. If it doesn't work, then it's dead. So we're going to just, sorry. I'll slap at the mic. I need to start doing some more giveaways. I do plan on doing more giveaways, by the way. I haven't done that in like 2 months. With the new website I've been also working on, Games Revealed stuff, I'll be doing a little bit more on that. So I'm going to be making some fun stuff. That's one of the things I've been kind of working on. Probably not going to change my drive and use an external. Also, macOS is great, but something the hardware is Loving the M1, though. Yeah, I don't have an M1. I do not. I want an M1. I don't want to spend money on an M1, but I love it. I love how fast I've seen people get stuff running on there. Swap this out. Okay, let's see. I picked up the orange box, Left 4 Dead 2, Portal 2, Sleeping Dogs, Definitive Edition, Celeste, Deus Ex Human, a Resolution Director's Cut, The Just Cause 3 during the Steam sale. Yeah. I posted it in the Discord what I got. I got 12 games, and I actually will probably get 2 or 3 more. Like I completed my Mass Effect collection because I had Andromeda on Origin. I just really don't like Origin. I don't mind Epic. If it was actually on Epic, I wouldn't mind too much. I will say I am hating getting Red Dead Redemption 2 working on the Steam off Epic on the Steam Deck because of the Social Club launcher that you have to install with anything that's whatever that company is called. They can my mind's blocking it because they piss me off so much sometimes. Okay, so. Don't forget to install Super Grub 2 on Windows to restore Grub after Windows corrupts it with their updates. I will look into that. Linus Tech Tips video today was really interesting. What do you think? I did not see his video today, Crazy. Have you started the dual booting process yet? Bobby, I have not. I'm getting my deck tomorrow. I'm hyped. Scissorapi. Oh, congrats, man. Of course, depending on where you live, is it tomorrow or is it in 3 days? I have an M1 Air. It's stupid fast for having no fan. Battery is incredible. I don't charge for days at a time. Yeah, that's even with the 15. So I'd get a 15-inch I'd say the i9, but that's the M1. I'd get the 15-inch one because I do a lot of development, and the more code on screen, the better. Bobby, why are you opening the deck? Because I had to install a second NVMe drive, right? Come on. Did I? Probably put in the wrong one. So that's what she said. So no, Bobby, I swapped out my drives. I had the Windows one, and I swapped it into my Linux one back in, and then so I could do some videos, and I was just lazy, and I figured the only way I'm going to get this dual boot thing done is if I actually do it on stream, because I feel like, I push everything off. This does not want to work. So Bobby, yes, I'm about to get into it. Once I can figure out what's going on with this. Well, look at that. I put it in the wrong hole. And I know the jokes. No, it's so when putting the screws back in, I didn't put it in the right hole on the inside, the screw. So you can see where there's already. I couldn't show you on the camera. I need a better lighting. I'm pretty sure I can see the Phillips head, on where underneath the back case. Oh my gosh. Okay, I apologize. We're going to get there. Everything's ready. The hardest part from here on out is all the extra stuff you have to weirdly do. But we're going to get there. Don't worry. I have too much fun chatting sometimes, and so I do apologize. Getting my deck between now and hey, as long as I don't know, as long as it's not it is Q3. They can count to 3. You got web. You seem like Web OS opening your deck twice now. Weebos. Yo, LoJack. Welcome, man. Yeah, no, I have to open it again because I put the screw in wrong. It's my fault. I got distracted. I was wondering why the screw wasn't going in. Yeah. Then it's going to take about 10 minutes to install. 10, 15 minutes to install SteamOS on this. I'm doing Windows 11. I had a really good experience with it. Windows 11 is more geared towards touch, in the sense it was designed for touch. And I will say one thing about SteamOS. It is like the desktop version is not designed for touch. And I really, really hope that they change that because it is really annoying to use SteamOS with the deck in like the touchscreen or in some other ways. So let's see here. Did I do it wrong? Did I unscrew the wrong? Wait. Now I don't remember how I did this. Don't mind me. Yep, I put it in the wrong one. Gotta swap out the... So this right here, it needs to be screwed from the back. and not from right. The screw goes in through the back case. Yeah, I'll look at that after this. Linus Tech Tips always has something interesting going on, I'll have to say. So where does this screw? Did I unscrew it from here on accident? Oh, look at that. I did. Well, I think it's going to work still. So there we go. At least I'm not Linus where I'm dropping everything. I just can be the guy that, you know, screws everything in wrong. I can have the nickname the Screwdriver. I don't even. Oh, that sounds like a bad porn name or something. That sounds horrible. Scott P. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, no, I made sure the SD card was out originally. I didn't, I should say. Wolf did on here. Oh, well, I don't think I read that on Arch Wiki and just went normal grub. Guys talking about grub. The only grub I know is the grubs in Half-Life, episode 2. Don't hurt it, it has feelings. Super Grub 2 is a must-have for dual booting Windows and Linux. Is it? I mean, I could. It's not the way I did it or looked into it. Yeah, Black Worm. Yes, thank you. Yes, that was the joke I was thinking of the whole time. Horrible joke. Blind Eye explains why after an update my drive was unbootable. Gee. I mean, I destroy my. Well, it's not. It just destroys the boot partition, right? So you can recover that. I did play myself. Oh gosh, I'm gonna lose the screws. That's okay. With this type of stuff, I eventually, if I have to open up something too often, you know, I'll put like 2 screws in and just like, okay, well, this is good enough. I'm not gonna do it with Steam Deck. It's not replaceable enough at this point. But I could see myself, if I continue opening it this much, I'm just not going to put the screws back in. It clips back in well enough. Brandon, a.k.a. Chad, welcome. Is there anyone here who reserved their Steam Deck this year? I reserved mine in March. It is too optimistic to expect my unit to arrive this year. This is how I would treat it. It's going to be a Christmas present for you next year. I only say that because it's probably going to come before then, and then you know what? Your expectations are quelched a little bit, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, ba-dum-bum-ba-dum. I'm loving it. Getting copy strike. Let's see. Gotta do some power delivery. I also need to do my keyboard. Oh my goodness, all the cords. So I'm not meaning to laugh or anything like that. I think you're going to I don't know. It sounds like production's picking up, but I don't know if production's picking up because they plan for production to pick up or because you know, it's actually, you know, they're actually getting more orders. I think I just destroyed the camera. Don't mind me. So we'll find out more. So they did let us know that production is ramping up, and they're fulfilling more and more. We're going to see that thing hopefully ticking by really quick now. I don't think we're going to do that anymore. Let me see why this is off. I unplug something on accident? Don't mind me. Okay, it should still be working. While I'm getting that working, let's get this thing plugged in so that we're just not sitting here all day. I think this is Steam Deck. I think this is Steam. And this one. I have two similar drives. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Don't. I did it wrong. It's just going to boot up the Windows drive. I guess we'll find out. So, let's see why this stopped working. Oh. I hit it. Okay, that's weird. I must have hit a button that hid the camera. This is probably going to boot into Windows. We'll turn it off in a second. I gotta say though, the touch screen, like, okay, so there's one major issue with Windows. It got to a point where the on-screen keyboard wouldn't pop up, and so I'd have to look into that. If they can fix the on-screen keyboard, I'd really like the experience in Windows. I actually like it more than Linux. And that being said, I like Windows when I have a keyboard and mouse. So like when I was using Steam Deck with the keyboard and mouse, I liked it. The Discover store was awesome. Everything, was great. Touch-wise though, even SteamOS has some issues. Like I thought it was the screen. I thought the touch screen was having, it just wasn't great at detecting. It's actually pretty good on Windows. On SteamOS, game mode and desktop mode, it actually just, we're going to spend all night not doing what I'm trying to do. Or is this the button? This is the button. As I was just saying how it was amazing. I want to shut it down. Yeah, the game mode and desktop mode, they don't, the touchscreen doesn't work great. Sometimes I have to double tap even tap 3 times. Tired, lol, but we're good. Thanks. I reserved mine in Jan 31st. Yeah, I can't wait for everyone to get their decks. But yeah. Okay, let's see here. So when you do down, it should pull up the boot menu, I'm assuming. The Wave, I pre-ordered July 18th and got Q3. Yeah. Icarus, I pre-ordered July 18th as well. Yeah, I'd assume anyone, yeah, so your time's coming. Okay, so we got the boot manager here, which is just, let's see here. Keyboard. Do I have the keyboard on properly? I do not. Okay. We're just going to select my A solid. It's going to boot into the recovery mode. A Vine Smash. Up to 10 games completed and 5 started and not finished. Can't complain about that ratio. I have not completed anything on the Steam Deck yet. I thought it was going to be a completionist on this thing. I have not. I am too busy getting everything ready for videos, and so I play a bunch, but I don't actually finish any games yet. Cameron, hoping I get an email to midnight or tomorrow. I hope you do too. I pre-ordered October 27th, Argon the Panda. Oh, that's going to be interesting when you get that fulfilled. the wave. I've had more weird crashes lately, but I do run more non-Steam games. Yeah, I actually haven't had too many games crash. It's been more like I've had a few, like maybe 2 or 3 have issues out of like 50 I've tried, and probably 20 or 30 those are non-Steam related. Or this is going to take a second to boot up too. This whole process takes a while now. I had to cancel mine because I picked up the wrong model, so then I pre-ordered again on August 4th and got Q3. Simple. Oh, so you're still Q3. You're just going to be at the tail end of Q3 if you ordered that late. So let's do a little bit of, while we're waiting for this, let me grab up what I need. Don't worry, just getting stuff ready for field trip time. Mm-hmm. Gohan, they said that they're doubling the rate of production. I don't want to be too optimistic, but I really hope we all get ours this year. Well, so I want to know, and I need to dig into that because I haven't done that news item yet. I want to know if doubling the rate of production means, hey, they're doubling every week from here on out, which that sounds ridiculous. That sounds too good to be true. I just read that somewhere. Doesn't sound good. Or from here on out, what you were seeing in Q2, you're going to see double the output for every week, and if that was planned. I want to know if that was planned, meaning they have allotments and stuff that they go through, and they're probably being really, really careful for Q1 and Q2, because if there's a production issue, they have to be able to, they don't want to produce so many that then they have to trash some or have to fix them. I'm sure that's what's happening, especially since they're new to this. I know they're using a third party, but I still have a feeling that Valve tends to be a little cautious. So let's see here. Oh, you guys can see that. I didn't even notice. Okay. So this is the video. We can get into it. If you haven't yet, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar, as I always do. You know what? Every time we have to wait like 5 minutes for this thing, I'll just run a couple of ads. Wow. Is my internet struggling, or is YouTube just struggling? Oh my goodness. Ooh. Man, it's a pre-order.
This tutorial, we will need 3 USB sticks, minimum of 8 GB.
Or maybe it's just my computer and just not liking something. I do have Docker running, which is an emulation software. Okay, so but I don't think I have anything running on Docker. Let's double check. Okay, good. Everything's exited on there. Okay, this is what I... Oh, come on. Oh, well. Yeah, this is really not liking. Give me 1 second. DUAL. I don't know what's going on. My browser's struggling. Cameron, hoping I get an email at midnight or tomorrow. Yeah, I hope so too, man. Or did I already see that? And it could be just the web browsers or everything's struggling. Okay. Move crap over here. Kill this thing. And then I'm going to, just so I get this next process going, and I'm going to reference something else that I already have up and going. Okay. I feel like something's going on with my comments. I'm not seeing the newest ones. Hopefully Spider-Man's playable and verified on deck. I'd hope so. I'd be surprised if it was. Okay, so
It can take 1 to 5 minutes for the SteamOS recovery to load.
yeah,
When it has loaded, you will see a desktop screen.
I think it's this one. Re-imaged.
Here, we want to select Re-image Steam Deck and press Proceed.
Okay.
This process can take up to 10 minutes, so sit back and wait until it is finished.
And
Press
sleep.
OK.
Okay. So you can see that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so we can go back to chatting while this finishes. So I need to figure out why. I guarantee I'm running something that's just yeah, I'm killing that. Okay. Pretty sure I had a rogue process on my browser. So don't mind me. Give me a second as I get my stream back up. And then we'll talk about something interesting. Okay, let's see if I can try to read the comments in a different way. I guess I'm worried that a year into me getting my hands on the Steam Deck, they'll release a newer version. I would feel betrayed. So go on. I'm going to say a couple things on that. I don't think they're going to release one within a year. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Valve to necessarily do something like that in the sense of like they like moving fast sometimes. This is hardware. Hardware is a little different. They probably have contracts up for who knows how long. That's not going to make your Steam Deck, original Steam Deck, if you still have a reservation for it and you end up buying the reservation, you know, let's say that they come out with Steam Deck 2, you can either convert over, but it costs more, or you can stick with the Steam Deck 1. That Steam Deck 1 is still going to be just as powerful as when you know, as now or as it is in a year. Nothing's going to change. It's still going to play the same games it's going to be able to play. It then just opens up other options to upgrade down the road. I wouldn't be against getting a Steam Deck 2 so soon. I just don't want it to be as difficult to get it like this. Like this time, doing YouTube, doing this type of stuff would really suck. But yes, it would. I think 2 years is the minimum and probably the sweet spot for what they're the APU architecture that they're doing. Let's see here. So let's turn this back off for a second. The waves. Well, to be honest, I never really know which version I'm running. Have been a solid decade since I ran emulators outside the hacked SNES Classic, so I gotta freshen up my knowledge. Blackworm, I think the Valve will release another Steam machine before it releases a Steam Deck 2. I don't think they're gonna. Well, I've thought about that potentially. Steam Machine was such a failure that I just don't know. I don't know. I'd go for a Steam Deck 2 if they had Thunderbolt. Steam Deck can't have Thunderbolt if they're running AMD. I mean, it's an Intel tech. I guess it technically, potentially could. It just costs a lot. So yeah, Intel Thunderbolt, kind of one and the same. Now USB 4 with the Steam Deck 2, like with the next architecture, then yeah, that's what I'm hoping for too. Ooh. Okay, so we're at the next step already. I've been meaning to talk about the Neo Steam Deck. Okay, proceed. Just go touch that. That touchscreen on the recovery was even better than it was in actual desktop mode of Steam OS.
Once the Steam Deck has rebooted itself, go through the setup for your time zone and Wi-Fi password until updates are installed by SteamOS. This could take a moment or a while depending on your internet connection, unless it's like mine, in which case it will take forever.
Okay, so Chad might be buying a new build part next week. Congrats, man. I hope so. That's awesome. The deck, not hard
After
body.
the updates are complete, the Steam Deck will reboot.
Yeah, we already know all this process. Okay, it's booting. But the Steam machine made no sense back then. Now it kind of does. The Steam machine made sense back then if they could. Well, okay, you're kind of. I think you're correct for the most part. I think if Proton was where it is now, if it was back then where it is now, I'm just gonna touch. I am in Mountain Standard Time. We're gonna kind of. Oh, you guys can't see it. Okay, good. Don't mind me. Just putting in the. Actually, I have the keyboard hooked up for a reason. So. Yeah, the APU and like the new smaller architecture makes a lot of sense. Like, still, larger machines back then still worked great. It just would like price to performance back then wasn't, I don't think, as good as it is now. But back then, yeah, like I said, Proton, like it just Steam OS was not in a place to really do what it, like right now, what they're doing, they're verifying everything. They're really wanting this to be successful. And so, swap this over, but because I'm going to put a password in soon and some other credential stuff, I don't want you guys to see. I am a private person, I guess. Steam Machine or IBM OS 3, which happens first. I think they could with how successful Steam Deck has been, which I think a year out reservation list is really good indicator. I could see maybe doing Steam Deck because they're looking at multiple projects. They're even looking at Steam Deck VR kind of stuff. In an interview Gabe Newell was a part of, he did mention even looking at Steam VR. So nothing's off the table. I'm semi-predicting maybe two product lines. It could be a Steam Machine, or it could be a Steam Deck 2, or it could be a Steam Deck VR. That could even be what the next APU architecture is. They might not do a Steam Deck 2. They might do a Steam VR Deck. I don't know what they'd call it. Hollow Deck. I think the Steam Machine was closer to big picture mode. Yeah. It is still installing. So yeah, with Neo Next 2, which I need to look into their naming conventions. Kind of a joke, to be honest. It's such a joke. Where did I put that? Let me look up. this article. We can talk about this article. I'm going to do a news item on it anyways, but we can talk about this. Oh, I am using 2 different keyboards, so. I still think they should have named the Steam Deck Gabe Gear. I don't think he wanted the. I can't say if Gabe's a narcissist or not. Sometimes when you get that rich and that successful, I feel like things kind of go to your head. But I mean, without him, we wouldn't probably have anything that we have. So gotta be at least somewhat thankful, right? I agree with you. I think they should have called it the Gabe Gear. VR is fun for very short bursts. I semi-agree. Things are still installing over here. I semi-agree and disagree. I played 2 or 3 hours at a time when I played Half-Life Alyx, and I need to play that again. I love that game, and maybe I don't know if I'll do it on this channel or my alt channel. I think I'll do a playthrough of that. That game is so immersive that by the end, when I got out of the VR, it was a different world. I felt like I was a foreign world. I was so integrated with Half-Life. Never felt so great. I know where my heaven is. It's in the Half-Life Alyx universe. Not really, but it'd be interesting, I guess. My blind eye gives me fits in view. I bet it would. Oh man, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, that would be difficult. I would assume oh man, what am I trying to say here? Depth perception is going. I had to really think about that one hard. It would be thrown off really hard in that. Okay, so it's still downloading crap. So it's still downloading updates and all that, I'm assuming. The Ayaneo Next 2 handheld gaming PC has built-in touchpads and discrete graphics. If you look at this bloody thing, oh, come on. Oh, there we go. If you look at that, the only thing different is that obviously the analogs are more, it's like a Xbox controller. It's honestly just like an Xbox controller with added touchpads at the bottom. They barely got it in that configuration. Now, getting it into this configuration is going to make it smaller. There's actually a lot of room in the Steam Deck and the handles, right? I do like how comfortable it is. I like the way this looks technically. It looks a little gimmicky, meaning there's some parts that I have to see it in person. But it looks a little gimmicky. Like I said, it looks like some parts make me feel like maybe they cheaped out on some of the buttons, but at the same time, it looks so good. Denvera, I just got my Steam Deck. Oh, and if anyone's joined, I'm still installing stuff on the deck, and it's just boring SteamOS setup stuff. Okay, so I just got my Steam Deck today. So far, I've played 3 games that say not compatible that have run better than great compatibility games. Yep. The compatibility doesn't necessarily say it's going to run well, per se. You still have the limitations of the hardware and also how they program the game. The assets, how it's optimized and when it runs. But yeah, I am surprised at how many games that run well that are not of the approved or playable list. Those touchpads are going to be hard as hell to use. They are. I'm really curious. I think I agree with you now that I really think about it. Because the touchpads already on the Steam Deck are already I already have to move my hand down like this. But then again, I'd have to do that anyways with a controller. But this is even further. I agree with you. I don't know if it's actually practical. It looks cool. Bobby, your mouse is blinking red. Why? It's because it's dying. And I'm just going to let it suffer. I'll plug it in so I stop bothering you guys. There we go. I just have so many wires because I have so much crap hooked up to my computer. Wolf, I don't like the button layout. I hope it feels like an Xbox controller quality. So in the end, I think I do agree. I don't think the touchpads are going to be practical on this. It looks cool. I think they're trying. I think it's good that they're trying. I know that Valve with the Steam controller, I believe all the designs are like essentially open source, so anyone could do. I don't think it's patented. Even if it's patented, I think it's allowed to be used in other devices. I think they want to be a trendsetter, and part of that is because it makes Steam look good. People buy more Steam games. This is a good sign that they'll probably have SteamOS by default on it, which is going to be really good for Valve. Very good. They're going to want that, honestly. But I agree partially. Like, I don't know if this is going to do well or not. I now that you've said it, I think I predict a redesign in the future. Denvera 1G1. Sorry, I mean a game that says won't run launcher issues that aren't actually issues versus a green game that I have to configure in desktop mode first. No warning that it needs config first. I don't know if I've run into any of those yet. I know that you might want to swap out which version of Proton it's using. But yeah, this thing is, I actually have pretty fast internet when it works. So, and it's still downloading. Here, just to show you that I'm not lying, it's still updating and downloading. So this might be a two-parter potentially. I don't know if I want to wait that long. I'm not getting off. Don't worry. I'm not getting off yet. So, let's see the way of God. If they keep getting smaller, running Windows help us. Yeah. That Spike, I read that as an NFT like the crypto. Oh, gosh. The back button provides me no purpose except to fidget with, and I still appreciate them for that. The back button. Which back button? Oh, well. The design was someone else. That is why controller not selling anymore. The design was someone else. So, from my understanding, the controller itself wasn't fully. It was just a part of it was. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but typically until this device, in fact, probably even with this device, they partnered with some. It's just not practical to build anything hardware-based or anything these days without partnering with one company or another. Oh, the buttons on the back. Yeah, the buttons on the back, yeah. Yeah, I don't think the controller was, most of it was Valve. It's just a portion of it, and that's why they got, I think they had a lawsuit, which kind of sucks because in the end, the company just made it so that we don't have Steam controllers. They didn't, I'm sure they got a little money from it, but that being said, I think they're like what they're doing with the Steam Deck and probably what they were doing with the Steam. They probably could make another Steam controller and just omit that one design or one piece of hardware that was designed by the outside company and redesign it and put it in. Obviously, the trackpads were Steam's or Valve's because they're using it in the Steam Deck, and I'm pretty sure it's open source, so that's why they're using it. Now, if this is Apple, they'd be like, square trackpads, those are our design. We're going to do a design patent on it because they design patent the freaking Mac wedge. So there is a design patent from Apple of the wedge of the Mac Air, the MacBook Air. Sorry, patent stuff gets me really pissed. Because it prevents innovation on stuff like that doesn't even, there's no way there wasn't a prior device being used like that was a wedge. There was, by the way. I'm getting a little heated. Green game, Batman Arkham City. Oh, I haven't tried Batman Arkham City. I do know Batman Arkham Asylum does not work very well. I'm still kind of debugging it. It's more or less I got to install the it's not third party. I need to install the DirectX packets or whatever they're called. and Red Game Elite Dangerous were basically the opposite of the rating system. Elite Dangerous does great with the controls. Batman had no video. Try doing the egg roll version of Proton. Install egg roll through the Discover app on the desktop mode. If it has no video, that usually means it's an issue that Proton just doesn't have the API for those videos yet. Those video APIs that some game engines use. Who knows how those goofy controls Steam Deck has could make it easier for me, to be honest. The Steam Deck's control system is actually awesome. It looks weird. It's really one of the best controllers I've held, honestly. That being said, I still think the PS5 is a better controller. Just all around, just features to comfortableness. I think PlayStation/Sony did a great job. It is still updating. Proof. Okay. Hey, since we are waiting, want to watch Linus Tech Tip video? You doing design? I want to listen to what you have to say. Hey, Wolf, can you throw out a poll and just ask if people want to watch that while we're waiting between, sessions? I'm fine watching it. I don't think he's gonna, slap me with any copyright stuff. I'm down to watch it, honestly. Let's just get a poll up there and just see if people want that. The wedge. Yes. So essentially the wedge-shaped MacBook is, thicker on one end, and then it slims down and as a wedge. So thicker, smaller. It's wedge-shaped. They patented that. Apparently, a design patent, which is even harder to do and further proves how much Apple is in the pocket of everything. Ghost, I'm selling my Steam Deck because it's outdated. I mean, it's not really outdated yet because nothing else has come out that can replace it. Everything is hearsay, Ghost. So I don't. It's not outdated yet. The Wave, I use it for Fortnite because I don't like to click it in stick button. I hate it. It's too hard. Feels weird. I think Wolf's asleep. I'll do the poll here in a second. Hey, since we were... Oh, never mind. She just did it. I know that the comments and everything lag behind me. Hey, since we are waiting... Bisexual Blurred, they need to make the grips wider so they can move up the D-pad and right stick so they can move the track. Well, yeah, so they need to make it like the Steam Deck. The Wave, I'm running Batman AK, running great. Awesome. Maybe I can use the back buttons for crouching in Morrowind. Yes. The back buttons work great for a lot of different things. I don't know why the normal button for crouching in Morrowind wouldn't work. But yeah, you could do stuff like that. To be honest, it's extra buttons I haven't used a whole lot yet. I think there's one game, and I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. I use various different versions of Proton, but if it's a game that's not supported, and most likely not supported because it's video, like if it's really old, if it's a really old game, then the egg roll version of Proton is great. But I usually use whatever defaulted for the games, even if it's a new game that I'm trying out that's not approved. I'll just keep it on the experimental and then go down the list. Well, I'll go to egg roll, experimental, then just down the different versions of Proton. Then I'll have to try, but I ended up having to launch Batman in desktop mode and configure it to run in Windows mode, native resolution for windowed borderless. Yeah, that sounds really bad. I bet you one of the different Protons might be able to get it to work. Proton Tricks might also. There might be something missing. I have to look into that. That is weird. That really does suck. Crazy. It's about small PC. I am really behind, I think, on comments now. Looks like I think we're going to end up winning out on Linus Tech Tips, but that's fine. We're going to finish out looking at this article real quick, and then we'll do that. It will be once the 6800U handhelds come out. I still love it though, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking for a Windows dedicated device too, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I think Windows 11 works great on the Steam Deck. Besides, the keyboard not popping up, and I have a feeling that's just a configuration issue with Windows 11. I will agree though, the 6800U is the 6000 series looks really good on paper. With the Loki Max and with just the different Lokis. I will be very cautious that they're going to have that out anytime this year. They say this year. Aya Neo, even with their old tech, is saying next year for theirs. And the Odin is not even shipped. I haven't even got my Odin yet. Be very cautious what they're promising. Like, that's why I'm so skeptical with them. With Ion. I'm not saying that they're bad. I've heard great things of everything. They're transparent. I just after looking at Steam, how Aya Neo and a bunch of other companies are doing things, I'd be really surprised if they got their devices out this year. They're planning to launch the Loki series when the 6000 series is just launching, period, and that could even get pushed out. So cautious. It definitely feels cheap. There was the Wave. Yeah, it feels a little cheap. There was one major issue with the LTT video of APUs. They compared okay, let's look into this thing. You have to use Proton tricks for it. Oh, huh. No, pretty sure I'm not. I dropped a little bit of frames. Okay, so let's go to this bad little boy. Oh, are we talking about... Okay, yeah, I did watch a part of this. I didn't finish it. Oh my gosh, I'm using the wrong freaking keyboard again. It's not going to go to it. I really hate Discord's system sometimes. So I don't know if my Steam OS is broken or not, but it's still downloading. Oh man, I should have done this part before all this. Let's see here. Copy link. I copied the wrong thing. Don't mind me.
This is not.
Oh yeah, Ghost, 100%. Yeah, I'm not saying that you're like. I just don't want people to drop their. Let's say if you end if they do ramp up production, and then they don't fulfill it for another year, you'll still have the Steam Deck for a year, and then you can sell it and get the Loki. Reserve both. Which, to be honest, I said I was going to reserve, but I still haven't reserved Loki yet. Okay, we're going to end the poll. Looks like we want to watch this.
The future of the PC. This is. If the enthusiast in you screams that no, you can't just replace GPUs and CPUs with integrated SoCs, I am here to tell you that Apple Silicon go burr. Apple
I do like their
obviously
jokes
knows
sometimes.
it,
They're
and
cheesy.
make no mistake, Intel, AMD, and Nvidia all know it too. The writing is on the wall, and now it's just a matter of time. PCs need to change, and I'm going to tell you how and why. Right after I tell you about our sponsor,
Glasswire. Glasswire lets you see past and present network activity, detect
I don't mind watching their ads. I like support creators. Even before doing the YouTube. But
a lot of you really
not for the
like
stream.
our How to Build a PC, the last guide you'll ever need. And I'm really glad that you do, because it took so much effort to make. But look at that runtime. And it could have been even longer. Think about how many components go into a typical PC build, and then look at this unassuming little box, the Mac Studio. In our testing, the M1 Ultra variant pulled a grand total of 223.4 watts from the wall under the heaviest load that we could give it. And the M1 Max version didn't even break 3 digits. If we ignore the Rosetta results, they achieved 88 and 61% respectively of the Core i9 12900K and RTX 3090 benches' overall performance in our productivity testing, at just 34 and 15% of the total system power at most. The 12900K, the CPU alone can draw more power than the whole M1 Ultra Mac Studio. And developers are still figuring out how to optimize for Apple Silicon. Now, look at that PC and all its components again.
I'll say this. I was not expecting Apple to frickin' kill it so hard with their CPUs. Like, I was really shocked, honestly, that they were able to do that. And I think it really shows the aging, the age of AMD and Intel a little bit, to be honest. So, Ghost, the Loki Max is double the performance on paper. These companies are always coming out. These companies are always coming out with, look at this on spec. This spec, it's going to be this much better. I want to see real world experience before we start saying that it's double. I think you're right. I just don't. I also don't want to be burnt by the marketing campaign.
Again, all the raw materials that go into making it what it is. It's wasteful, right? In almost every way except economically. It's not that x86 is inherently bad, but it has limitations that even Intel have tried to overcome themselves with projects like Itanium. While extensions have given it more life, its complex instruction set design is, at its core, an old one that dates back to the late 1970s. Literally every x86-based CPU boots up in 8086 compatibility mode and can, in theory, run software made for the OG IBM PC. Precious die space and transistors are used for supporting instructions and modes that might be redundant or not even remotely useful today, but must be there to maintain compatibility with the architecture. And now, if I'm Intel or AMD looking at my options...
So, Devanar, Apple is mainly killing it because they're using 5 nanometer. We're getting there too. Versus Intel, NVIDIA's 8 and 10 nanometer class, and Intel, NVIDIA are pushing the silicon too hard. Apple is limiting clocks to keep it efficient. Their architecture is efficient. Their architecture is done right. And yes, does the smaller die size help a lot? Yes, but we've also seen Intel and NVIDIA try, drop, and their performance should be going up with it when they drop their die size, or the size, or not. And so
options.
I think
I'm sweating a little and weighing a switch to ARM. While neither currently sells an ARM CPU, both hold ARM licenses, and AMD is on record saying that they're willing and able to do it. It wasn't that long ago even that Intel had their own reduced instruction set CPU called the i860 and i960, and you'd be kidding yourself if you thought that they weren't prototyping stuff on the side like Apple was when they were suffering through 14 nanometer plus. A change in the PC industry would, of course, have a teething period like Apple Silicon is currently experiencing. But it could eventually be a good thing, and not just for efficiency. Think about it. Intel and AMD are alone in the CPU race right now, just like AMD and NVIDIA are currently alone in the GPU race. And if Intel had their way in the 90s or in 2015, there'd be only one. Thanks to Intel's control over performance and efficiency-enhancing extensions used on modern CPUs like SSE and AVX, and AMD's control over the 64-bit extensions that every desktop CPU since Core 2 has used, we don't have any other desktop CPU manufacturers. Anyone entering the x86 market would have to reverse engineer those extensions to compete, because AMD and Intel have a technology sharing agreement that forbids sub-licensing and expires if...
This is another thing with patenting. I don't mind it, and I think there needs to be a cap. Once you make a certain amount of money back that you put into it, plus, let's say you put $10 million into the R&D, and then you make back, let's say, $2-3 billion. Like, that's a huge return. Let's just say that, though. The patent needs to go away. I think it stifles innovation in the long term. I think it helps companies in the short, and I think it needs to be helped out, but it's hurting competition.
Either company changes hands. By contrast, ARM doesn't sell anything directly. They develop the base specifications, and then they license that to other companies, who then have the option of tweaking and adding to those designs to tailor them to suit their needs. This is how Apple Silicon came to be, and if ARM took off on the desktop, we could see not only mobile players like Qualcomm, Samsung, and MediaTek enter the...
Okay, so just anyone that's entered the chat that's new, this is our progress. Either the Steam Deck is broken or it's just downloading at like 56K. In fact, let me listen. Yep, I can hear 56K noises coming out. I try to make it the noise. I was actually about to do that, but that would not end well. Okay, so you've added me a few times. I have an Apple M1, and it's less efficient than my work's AMD 4750U. Less efficient in what way? Blind Eye, I forgot CPU were gray squares back in zeros. Oh, yeah. Back in the day, man, they used to be socketed or like slotted with the which Intel Pentium was that? Was that the Pentium 2? Look at X1 player, 1X player. The one I had was beast, but software support sucked to no end. That's what I feel like a lot of those devices tend to be. Neo looks good, but its software looked a little weak. Their software looked pretty nice, actually, with their newer stuff. I don't know how it is looking these days, but it's looking like it's better. Like they have a little UI layer. The Wave Steam OS will be released for all handhelds if that's what you want. You do not have to buy a Steam Deck to have a deck experience. Yeah, I agree. To a point. I think what Valve's made is a very fluid experience, but doesn't mean that, if someone does, some people just don't mind going to a different manufacturer if they can get it sooner. And I'm all for choices, by the way. Games revealed, my M1 Mac Mini took 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 33 watts to transcode a recorded news segment. My works laptop with a 4750U transcoded the same recording, took 1 hour, 4 minutes, and used only 28 watts. Yeah, that is a little bit more efficient, yeah. I'm curious, though, if you and which version of the M1 is that? The newer versions of the M1 and M2, I heard, are even better at doing that type of stuff. And also, I'm kind of curious if you, I don't know on the low end how efficient those are, but if you get into the high end, like comparing Intel and AMD at the high end of their specs between, the MacBook, let's say MacBook Pro. I'm kind of curious because I've seen the numbers and I'd beg to differ on the high end on that.
The ring, but maybe Google or even HP, they used to make their own CPUs once too. And we can't forget NVIDIA, whose last consumer ARM SoC uses GPU cores from 2014 and lives on in the Nintendo Switch and Shield TV Plus. Actually, it's kind of bizarre that NVIDIA hasn't continued to produce consumer SoCs. Perhaps contractual obligations within and outside of NVIDIA's control had something to do with it, because not only were they close to straight up buying ARM, a sign that they knew times were changing, but they're also still actively developing ARM SoCs, just not for consumers. Their Grace data center SoC for AI acceleration has a surprising...
So NVIDIA's been doing a lot of, I think, greedy plays, and that's one of the ones that they missed out, meaning they've been going into the AI routes and automation routes. They have been making a lot of custom chips for the non-consumer but business spaces. They still benefited greatly from the GPU shortages, because there wasn't actually a shortage on their end. It was a shortage because they were selling all this stuff to GPU or to miners. And so now they're going to get hurt. I'm wondering if they're going to get hurt a little bit now that GPU sales are going to drop a lot, if there's a lot of used hitting the market. If they will start to rely back onto that architecture that they built that was on ARM. It honestly, like, an amazing APU that they built that I'm surprised they're not continuing to make, because, like, I guess they kind of are and I think they're working with Nintendo for the Switch too. But it's an amazing, I'll have to admit, an amazing APU what they've been able to do with it. the Wave, me personally, I prefer Windows, but SteamOS is much better than other Linux distributions. It all depends on what you're doing. There's a couple of really good Linux distros flavors that I really like. I will have to say, it's hard. I really like what the Steam Deck is, though.
Surprisingly similar level of integration to Apple Silicon on paper, and is just begging to be scaled down so that consumers can use it just like the Teslas and not Quadro GPUs do with GeForce. But let's back up a sec. Duopoly aside, if x86 is so bad and ARM is so good, why is x86 still the king of the PC? Well, prior to Apple Silicon, you'd be forgiven for thinking that ARM chips simply can't perform. Like Intel and AMD, Qualcomm has a virtual monopoly over non-Apple ARM PCs, and a literal monopoly in the Windows ecosystem thanks to an exclusivity agreement with Microsoft. When that deal was penned, it probably did make some sense. Qualcomm was the third biggest chip maker even as of mid-2020, and they're still a giant who's recently been eyeing a slice of the ARM pie for themselves.
So, Den, the high-end processors have poor efficiency because the silicon is being pushed toward my 3950, normally 4.1 gigahertz, 155 watts at 3.4 gigahertz uses 78 watts. Yeah. No, I agree. That's kind of what they're doing. Like, that's what it feels like they're doing with the next gen of NVIDIA, right? They're up to 800 watts is the allotment for the next GPUs from NVIDIA. I agree. Like, but I just the performance, man, from the M1, it's pretty dang good for what wattage it uses. So I think it's a partially an innovation thing on Intel and AMD. But hold on. Crap.
So, assuming Qualcomm would become the biggest supplier of desktop ARM chips, it made sense for Microsoft to want to optimize for that hardware. Unfortunately for Microsoft,
it's still
and
updating.
for
This
us,
is
there's no polite way to put this. Even Qualcomm's latest chips suck, which recently prompted Google to follow Samsung and Apple in going their own way with Tensor, and may eventually prompt Microsoft to do the same. Qualcomm's utter failure to compete in the PC space so far has given Intel, AMD, and especially Nvidia precious breathing room. And we're not saying that the PC as we know it is dead today. It definitely still has some life left, and they'll first probably try to integrate x86 SoCs more tightly before they consider switching over. Intel, for example, could...
So, Ghost, yeah, no, I hear you on the Linux thing with those different games.
very well be working on an SoC that combines Alder Lake's efficiency cores with a larger number of Xe graphics cores and AI engine blocks taking the die space that would otherwise have been allocated to the bigger performance cores. Even so, reduced instruction set architectures proved their worth in the late 90s with early ARM licensees and with PowerPC, which was famously used in the first iMacs. Clock for clock, PowerPC tended to outperform x86 by a wide margin, though this did depend on the task, and eventually PowerPC hit a performance and efficiency wall just
I'm going to
like
restart it
x86
and see if it does
today.
it.
Intel's Itanium, for its part, was supposed to be a sort of successor to RISC as a concept by using what HP termed explicitly parallel instruction computing, or EPIC. Yes, naming has always been bad. Unlike our swag from LTDstore.com. It describes exactly what it is: a sweater and a jacket. As we know today, Itanium didn't work out so
like sweaters.
well. Still, even Intel saw that the x86's days were numbered. Their plan for
I
Pentium
didn't
4
bring your
was
Ghost.
more or less to just clock it as high as it would go and hope that the numbers kept going up. And now that we're back to this phase again, where we can't physically fit more cores on a die because new process nodes are providing less additional density, something's got to give. The current solution, stacking dies, will only get you so far when you're already pushing 241 watts. By comparison, a lot of ARM's advantages today come not strictly from its reduced instruction set, but from how it's typically bundled into a system-on-chip configuration where virtually the entire computer is super close to the CPU cores. Why does this matter when we already have APUs? It's all about density and power draw. Simply expanding the size of the die isn't normally a good idea from a power and thermal perspective, but ARM cores are typically much smaller than x86 and sip far less power. So not only can you fit more of them into the same space, you're also not as limited in terms of die size in general. M1 Ultra's die area is bigger than the RTX 3090 Ti. Let's do a case study. AMD's 8-core Ryzen 7 5700G desktop APUs are somewhere between an M1 and M1 Pro in terms of die size. The APU dedicates just over a quarter of the utilized die space to CPU cores and cache alone, and just 10% to the GPU. For thermal management, there's also a fair amount of unused white space, even within the cores themselves. Meanwhile, even M1's big performance CPU cores are tiny by comparison, with all cores taking just over 20% of that smaller die area. The GPU takes up double the relative die space as the APU, which means there's way more GPU horsepower on tap and still room for other functions like the massive media engine, neural engine, and storage controller. There's very little white space by comparison. Not only are those ARM cores efficient enough to handle such a compact layout, but when so much of the system is contained within it, significantly less energy has to be used for signaling, which also happens to be much faster. If we tried to push an x86 processor to these densities in proximity with this many GPU cores, it would quickly become a thermal meltdown event. Sort of like the opposite of how Alex had to save a frozen Core i9 12900KS, literally frozen. Go check it out on Flowplane along with more exclusive when you're done here. And it scales. M1 Max sports a larger die than the RTX 3070, and M1 Ultra is...
Bisexual Blurred, an M1 Pro inside the Steam Deck would be amazing. So, from my understanding, Mac's done a decent enough job with compatibility later, but yeah, I am kind of curious how that would work fully with games and all that. Don't mind me. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Then it's all napkin math from me, but I manage over 1,000 devices, including Apple, and use many of them daily. We'll finally be able to compare apples to apples with Zen 4 5 nanometer. Yeah, I agree. No, I think we're going to learn more. Yeah. I'm going through the... We'll get back to this video, don't worry. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize I could do that. I haven't tried V-Rising yet. I am going to install it on here, though. Okay. So, let's, I think we need to make sure that it's updated. Should I do beta? So getting back to your thing with the Zen 4, it is still an architecture, meaning and we saw how they architected where they'll put the dies, like where they'll put the GPU sections, the CPU sections, pipelines. There's a lot of different things that go. It's very complicated. That also is a big part of what, why some chips have done better than others, right? So I'm curious, though. I agree that it's apples to apples. Once it's the same die size, once it's the same size, that I'm trying to decide if I want to do stable or beta. Maybe start out with stable. We'll start out with we'll keep it stable. Okay. And then shut this down. Get on to the next step. Oh my gosh. Spencer Hansen, subscribe to the channel. Hey, welcome, Spencer. Thank you for subscribing, man. Let's see here. This is what I was talking about, missing from the video. If the 3090 Ti used the same 5 nanometer Silicon has the M1, it would be smaller than the base model M1 Pro and way smaller than M1 Max just on the CPU. Let's see. For ARM, take a look at NVIDIA Orin, 12 ARM cores and 2000 CUDA cores, 500 less than the 3050. Ghost, the problem is Apple CPU are very efficient, but the GPU are really bad. I'm talking about like 80 frames per second on Fortnite, so that needs to be fixed for Apple to compete in the gaming industry. That's also probably has to do with, from my understanding, their GPUs aren't bad. I don't know if the architecture is similar to on their phones, but I know their phone GPUs compared to Androids are actually really good. That being said, it might be the translation layer portion. Meaning Steam or Apple just needs to acquire Steam, and they team up on making that compatibility layer better. ARM Steam Deck, aka NVIDIA Shield. Okay, so the NVIDIA Shield is old, and actually that tablet, as a tablet, kind of sucked. It was kind of slow, but when it played games well. It just sucked as a tablet. Like the UI, I don't know what it is. The UI interface just wasn't great. Ghost, I sent it. This is 28 watts. You can lower it to a 15 and still get 60 frames on high settings at 800. That's insane. That sounds insane. Yeah, and I believe... Let's see here. This is the video you're talking about. 28 watts is a lot. It's handhelds are not going to be running at 28, from my understanding, right? Like that's going to destroy your battery. But like you mentioned, even reduced down to 15, it was running 60. We'll get into that in a second. Let's finish up this video.
Is about a third again bigger than the RTX 3090 Ti. With a die that large?
And let me switch. Okay, sorry. I'm going into dual boot. I'll bring it back over to the Steam Deck here in a second. We're going to go back into watching this while
the 3090 Ti would take up roughly half the M1 Ultra's die area, while Apple currently dedicates just over a third. That means that if Apple built a dedicated big chip design and weren't using their own metal API separate from the rest of the industry, they legitimately could reach high-end GPU levels of real-world performance. Shame that Apple had to go their own way. But imagine if NVIDIA were to build such a thing. They could corner the ARM desktop or notebook space very quickly, if developers were on board especially. It's not as simple as gluing them together, obviously, and that GeForce power consumption is still a problem, but it's also not an impossible hurdle. And with the success of Apple Silicon, despite its growing pains, it's impossible for the industry to ignore the advantages to this approach. You can have excellent performance coupled with incredibly low power draw on a much more open architecture that allows for bigger or more aspirational system integrators to tweak things as they see fit. This potential future will suck for enthusiasts who like getting their hands dirty, but the alternative is laid bare before us. Power targets shooting up at record pace to the point where we're looking at new connectors to help deliver all the juice. This generation of hardware now is already incredibly power hungry. With Intel and AMD squeezing higher and higher frequencies out of their cores, and NVIDIA rumored to require up to 600 watts for their next-gen top-end GPU?
That's actually, they have 800 watt allotment for their highest-end GPU, 800 watt allotment. Meaning that doesn't mean they're going to use it all, and it could be 600 watts, but the rumor, or at least like the tweet I saw, like 800 watts.
There's really no backing down. We have to ask ourselves, is it worth it? And at what point does it stop being worth it? At least it's always worth listening to the segues of sponsors like
Backblaze, starting at just $7.
We'll see. I think California has prices on how much wattage your computer, like taxes on how much wattage your computer. I don't know how they'd actually collect on that, but or maybe it's just you can't buy certain things. Okay, sorry. Okay. Before we continue with that, taxes. Maybe it's just taxes on computers that are being sold. I can't remember. But yeah, there's like power consumption is going up. A lot of things are going up. I think as we transition over and everything, things are going to go up. It's going to be interesting. Hey, thanks, man, for the Denvera 1G1. Thanks for the donation. It's going to help towards getting that next project rolling. So with your previous message and comments, Max Tech did a comparison of the 3090 and M1 Ultra, showing the GPU was less efficient than the 3090 in several tasks. Yes, it used less power at the wall, but it took so much longer. I don't think the GPU on the M1 Ultra was designed to do the same thing that the 3090 was. Meaning, if Apple went and took it and maybe designed it to be a super high-end GPU, we would be seeing something different. I don't know. I'm also not an expert on this in this type of stuff, and so I'm curious to see if they took that into mind. Like, oh, we were going to do this for gaming. Well, how would we do it? I'm curious what they would come up with. Okay, and then your donation tweet, or apparently this is Twitter that we're on now. Your donation message. I'm simply saying that TSMC says a 5 nanometer is 50% more efficient than 5 nanometer. Are you saying 7? But clock for clock, Apple is not 50% more efficient than AMD APUs. No, it's in theory it should be. So the smaller you get in die size, the harder it is to control the current, or the constant current of electricity that's going through the CPU, right? Or through those through its pins, or whatever you want to call it. It just they've had to rethink how they actually manage that with some new technologies. It's going to get harder and harder from here on out. With the 5 might be our limit for a good long while. And I could be remembering some of this wrong, so just take that with a grain of salt. Even at higher sizes, we've had GPUs and CPUs do better than some of the lower die sizes. So it's also, architecture is a big deal. It's very complicated. So it's not as easy as saying, hey, this one's smaller, it's going to do better. In theory, it should, though. I'm thinking. It wasn't gaming benchmarks, it was professional workloads. You should search professional workloads and gaming benchmarks handle things very differently. But that is interesting. Once again, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm really curious to see how it actually would hold up if it was designed differently. You should search up board smashing Steam Deck now. We're good on that for right now. Well, the 39 uses way more powerful. Okay, let's go back to this.
You will be asked to sign into your Steam account. Next, portrait, landscape USB. Hold the volume down button and
We've
press
done that.
power once.
We'll get back to some more of the videos.
Menu. Here, choose the G-parted USB that has appeared and select. For this part,
okay, and then don't mess up my dock setup. Wow, that's gonna be hard to read. Okay.
you will need to turn your Steam Deck portrait, landscape, and portrait again in order to view the stages properly, as you'll see me doing on screen.
Oh, no.
Here, select the first choice and turn the deck landscape.
No.
Select Don't Touch Key Map. First choice and turn the deck landscape.
It just did it automatically for me. It just selected it automatically for me. Okay.
Touch key map. We want to choose the digit corresponding to our language. For English, we will type 02.
What language should we do? I do know like a little bit of Japanese. I need to learn more of it, like Ohayou gozaimasu. Good morning. We're not going to go through all the different weird things I know in different languages. Okay. British English. 33. I'm sorry. I just don't want to mess this up, so I'm watching this stupid video.
And enter. Followed by 0 and enter. Now we arrive at one of the most important stages of this tutorial, and pay extra close attention to what I am performing on screen here. We want to turn our deck portrait, and when gparted has fully loaded, click in the top right hand corner to select our internal drive. Here we will see a list of partitions for our internal drive. This is the partition table created via the SteamOS recovery. We can see partition 8 home
sure I'm
in
already
the
in there.
list, which will be the largest size partition. Here we want to right click this partition and select.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! I'm gonna plug in a mouse. Ugh. Screw this. No, that's one of the features I wanted. I got trolled hard on like wanting something like that, like a media player. You can install VLC, but then when you try to run it inside the like game mode, it doesn't work for me. Okay, let's get it's also kind of hard from this angle. What? Am I doing this wrong? Well, suck. Did I minimize it on accident? Yep, I did. Okay, cool. I minimized it. Make sure you turn off Windows updates or you will have to do all this all over again. Oh, that sucks. So Blind Eye, yeah, you can still like get, let's say if you the browser, you can watch stuff through the browser. You can watch in desktop mode. And I'm sure there's some type of media player you could maybe get to work in the game mode. I just haven't done it yet. I just wish there was one built in. Okay. So.
Resize move, which will bring up this box for resizing the partition. Now, I am sure you have given some thought as to how big you want your Windows partition to be. In my case, with a 256GB internal drive, I'll be resizing the home partition to just under 100GB and leaving an unallocated partition for Windows at 128GB. This will allow me to play Destiny 2 and install other software alongside having a bit of breathing room for the OS itself. To apply these changes, we must click.
So I've already eaten up all the space of my 256 on the SteamOS on my other one. I'm pretty sure the Rockstar's launcher is installed like 20 times on my device. I feel like every time I launch it, I have to install it. So I'm really debating whether I do want to do... Let's just call it even. Okay.
the green tick in the toolbar, and Gparted will perform the task of resizing our home partition.
Sorry if you can't see it very well.
Unallocated partition resized as specified.
Okay, it's resizing right now.
Once this is complete, go ahead and close Gparted and shut down the Steam.
So Ghost, you don't have to do it this way. Dual booting and doing like what I'm doing is essentially doing. I want to be able to play my games both Windows and SteamOS in an easy manner. This is for fun more than anything. You don't have to do this if you want to do Windows gaming.
Deck via the exit button on the desktop. Turn your deck back to landscape briefly and swap your Gparted USB for your Windows USB.
Okay, let's see. What did it say? I think I know what to do now.
And close Gparted and shut down the Steam Deck via the exit button on the desktop.
Well, Ghost, even if you get the Loki Max, you're not gonna. The dual booting's not gonna be any bad. Like the problem is fundamental. Well, could you dual boot through Windows 11? Through Windows 11 Partition Manager. I don't know. You have to have a partition manager that would be able to dual boot. Most Linux distros have it. I just don't think SteamOS does yet. Okay, then I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go back through. I was reading stuff.
Once this is complete, go ahead and close Gparted and shut down the Steam Deck via the exit button on.
Hey, no judgment, Blind Eye. Sounds like fun. Birth of the internet. I don't even know what is that one. What is that anime? Black Worm. You can use VLC in game mode. You just have to change the default video output to Wayland shared memory under settings video because the game UI uses Wayland and not. Oh, okay. Interesting.
On the desktop. Turn your deck back to
okay. I missed that once again. I apologize. Close it.
Shut down the Steam Deck.
Shut it.
Exit button on the desktop.
Okay. Yep. I got it figured. I just figured I wouldn't want to ugh. Okay. Yeah, but I won't have to dual boot if I have both handhelds. Do you feel me? So you'll have Windows PC and SteamOS PC and my gaming laptop. All three will have the different needs. Yeah, no, if you're going to go that route, that's fine. I actually don't mind. I just know some people can only afford one device, and that's why I usually recommend Steam Deck. Even with the new stuff coming out with the Loki Max, looks really good on paper. There's still so many unknown pieces to it. Which, I guess, speaking of that, let's watch a little bit.
Turn your deck back to landscape briefly and swap your Gparted USB for your Windows USB.
Yeah. Oh, it's not.
Hold volume down and press power to bring up the boot menu once again and select your Windows USB. Turn your deck portrait again while waiting for the Windows installation to load.
So, I'm surprised SteamOS doesn't use so Blind Eye, I'm surprised that, this stuff's built into Linux. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. And maybe it's because they're doing some really weird stuff with their partition and all that, because they do have read-only well, it's not. They have sectors or sections or partitions that are protected from updates. So when they update, they clear everything else out. So I'm wondering if it's because of that custom nature of that type of system, hard drive system, whatever you want to call it. I can't even think anymore. You have an issue with the Steam Deck store? I actually have not. UI wise, I've had. I really hope that this is the right one. Let's make sure. I'm gonna plug this drive over here. Don't mind me. I'm just double checking. Ooh. Okay. Yep, That one's the... So I got it right. Sorry, you're going to hear a bunch of things because I plugged in the Steam OS, which was not the right format, and Windows blew up on it. So this should boot into Windows now. Installer. Next, install. Yeah.
Once you're at the beginning screen, we want to select Install Now.
Okay, and then...
Select I don't have a product key.
Yeah, that's how you get free Windows. Except for it still does
Windows 11 Pro.
Oh, wow.
I accept and next. Install Windows only. Here we will be asked which partition we want to install Windows, so scroll to the bottom of this list and select the unallocated space created in gparted earlier and press New, followed by Apply.
Gotta get the mouse over.
OK.
Okay. Let's go down to unallocated. Makes sense. Okay. Then this is going to take a little bit longer. While this is installing, let's watch that other video that was very short that you guys recommended. Let's go on over there to... I know I'm going back and forth on everything. And I'll read some comments.
Hello everybody. Welcome to the City of Night. Here is the AOK Zoe handheld, a Windows gaming handheld equipped with AMD 6800U, which used to do the game demo. You can find the related game demo on YouTube at AOK Zoe. Today's game demo is Cyberpunk 2077, an open world game. Story set in the City of Night, where power changes and body transformation are constant themes. Playing as an ambitious mercenary. Frame rates reach 60 to 70 even when high-speed driving. AOK Zoe handheld is superior. Next we test with different picture quality.
I mean, I run it on the Steam Deck at low quality image and I get 45, 50. I mean, I get pretty good. And it's not at that power draw right there. 28's ridiculous. Because it's probably a Chinese company.
Set at 1280x800 resolution, low quality, TDP 28 watts. All effects are default at quality, no special optimization. Indoor and outdoor reach at 60 more FPS. Run smooth. To reach
Welcome
this
back,
high
Crazy.
frame rate on such a small PC handheld, AOK Zoe got really strong performance. The following will turn the picture quality to full high to check the frame rate.
Fiverr or bisexual blurt. I agree. He could use Fiverr. Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
Now at 1280x800 resolution.
So, Ghost, you're saying that this is the 1X player brand, but why is it called AOK Zio? I don't know.
High quality. All effects are defaulted under quality. No special optimizations.
No, that's impressive at 40.
FPS indoors, 37 or 38 FPS. Outdoors.
That's still
This is
pretty
a game
impressive.
that came out last year. At full high quality, but still run at such a frame rate. Cyberpunk 2077 is good, but it was criticized at the beginning of release. After they fixed the bug, now it is a good game, really worthy to play. But the plotline is not quite rich enough. Here is the performance of the high quality at 800.
I love the story review right there in the middle of this.
We turn at 1920x1200 resolution, low quality, All effects are defaulted under quality, no special optimization. You can see that it reaches about 35 FPS indoors, and 30 FPS outdoors, even though, currently at 1200p resolution, it still reaches more than 30 FPS. OXO handhelds is powerful. Finally, I would like to remind you guys, who have not signed up for the beta test, quickly follow YouTube at OXO to sign up. Tomorrow we will update the game demo
OXO.
of Cyberpunk 20.
I'll be honest. I have to see some more, but yeah, at 28 watts, that's not actually that impressive to me. That's really intense. But it is like, okay. I'm not trying to like downplay it. I do think the 6800 is going to be an awesome chip. I just 28 watts, man. That's intense. I do think that the FSR would help in this case. Like, I would love to. I actually agree. I don't think 800 is the right screen size. I think it needs to be a 1080 at least, and it probably should be a 1080. Okay. Yeah, no Ghost. It is impressive. Don't get me wrong. It is impressive. Okay, let's.
After a moment, and confirm our country, and press yes twice. Skip the keyboard layout, and to make the install faster, select I don't have internet, and continue with limited setup.
Because I have to install the
Enter
drivers.
your
Oh my
username
gosh, I
and
hated
skip
that.
entering a password. For these steps, follow along with my choices for the best options.
Wait, what did he say about skipping?
And continue with limited setup. Enter your username and skip entering a password.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Skip entering a password.
For these steps, follow along with my choices for the best options.
Let's screw it. I'm gonna get tracked. Hi, I do like. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I
Once
probably
you've
should have said that
selected a name
too.
for all of these,
I'll do it later.
Windows will finish installing and bring you to the desktop. So with the Windows desktop now available, the only thing we want to do is right-click the desktop and select Display Settings. Scroll down the window and change your orientation from portrait to landscape.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. It's gonna take a few minutes now to set up. So
Now your Steam Deck is finally the right way round, we can test to make sure everything has worked. So go ahead and shut down Windows.
yeah, no, Cyberpunk is pretty demanding.
Here, we can hold volume down and press power to once again get into the boot menu and choose SteamOS.
Nice. I'm not gonna do that because I'm assuming it worked.
Have a look round and try rebooting a few times. Here, we can see that dual booting is working with SteamOS and Windows 11. Go ahead
That's impressive.
and shut down SteamOS so that we can install our 4 drivers from Valve on Windows 11. Navigate to where your drivers are located and start with the graphics driver in this folder called Aerith.
Okay. Oh my gosh. If you guys were here last time when I installed the Windows drivers, this was the crappiest part because for some reason they just wouldn't show up until I restarted a few times. Okay. So we are back in business. Let's get these drivers set up real quick. I'm not going to do the rebooting and all that crap. Display settings. Move things back to how they're meant to be. No, don't revert. What? Did I disconnect it? Oh well. No! Okay. So we're going to do that. And then I still have my drivers from last time, which I hope they work still. I assume they did. And then let's go ahead and play this video. So it's
Choose
just
Setup once, but turn off the Windows security notifications now by sliding the bar to the bottom and confirming. This will get annoying later if you don't disable it now.
We'll go through it. Actually, why is this taking forever? There we go. We can deal with it, right? Also, from this angle, I can't see very well. There's glare and all that. I need to get the anti-glare screen. Okay, let's see. I've neglected chat for a little bit while this is setting up. Even games like Reddit, even Cyberpunk on PS5 and Series X is bad frame rate. I think above 30 frames per second at 1200 is pretty good. Yeah, I haven't tried. I do have Cyberpunk. I'd have to see. It ran pretty good on my computer, but I have a 3090. So. Oh, yeah, it's a great demo. It seems he was dismissive of it because it could use 28 watts. I was trying to dissuade his concerns by saying it could be 50% faster than Steam Deck at same power. Yeah, no, it should be from my understanding, isn't it supposed to be that's what they say is that it's supposed to be about 50% faster than the Steam Deck, the 6800U. That being said, I even seeing that's the manufacturer. I want to see a real in the person thing. I know I'm being very skeptical about it. And this is going to be an all night. Oh, wait. They hit the install on me. I thought it was installing. I apologize. It goes, yeah, legit. I want to get them. I'm so apprehensive of it because it seems too good to be true in some ways. I know I said I reserved it a week or two ago. I need to do it because I'm not going to ever get it. I'm going to reserve it and then beg for a review copy, which we'll see if I actually get it because, still wouldn't even say it's a really small channel. So, but you guys make it so much better and you guys are here supporting me. So thank you. Oh, the doubler. Yeah, no, I'm having a hard time getting Red Dead Redemption 2 to work on my Steam Deck from the Epic Game Store too. I am probably going to rebuy it on. Well, here's the thing. The Epic Game Launcher will, I can install a lot of games, but it's because it's Rockstar, they have this stupid launcher that they have. It's Rockstar, man, you can just suck it. I really hate their launcher. It really sucks. But I'm sure you can get it to work. I'm getting to that point with it where I'm like, I want to play this game, and I just don't want to deal with it on Epic. I use the Heroic launcher. It doesn't help me. I've used both launchers, Ghost, and it doesn't work for me properly. It's really annoying. If you can't tell, I'm a little annoyed by it. I'm also annoyed by this wireless thing. Okay.
So, choose Setup and wait for the installer to load, confirming the Steam Deck GPU, and hit Install. This process takes about 1 to 2 minutes.
Wait, didn't I do this, or did I double click and it's installing again?
And the screen will flash,
No, it's different.
indicating
Okay.
the graphics driver has been installed successfully. So here, hit Finish.
I did this already, right?
Next is the SD card driver located in the Bay Hub folder.
Yeah,
Go
I
through
already
this
did it.
and run the installer as you would normally.
I'm playing Wolfenstein New Order from Epic for free on Heroic. Yeah, no, I'm not saying the Heroic launcher is bad. It's just it's certain games, Red Dead Redemption and just anything that has to do with Rockstar. I bet you almost everything else works fine. I got really pissed off trying to do that whole thing because I ruined a whole video that I worked really hard on trying to do that. We can get into that at a different time.
At the end, don't restart the computer and press Finish. Afterwards, choose the third folder and simply double-click the install driver file, and the Bluetooth driver will be taken care of.
Don't mind me.
Finally, choose the RTW LAN folder and select Setup. Follow this as normal and the Wi-Fi will be installed with the correct drivers. Now all the drivers are installed, we can choose to pause here.
This video was done before I think the audio or the additional audio drivers were done. We'll see if this works. Because he showed hitting setup. And it didn't. You saw that it did not work unless I went into the wrong folder. His sizes are different too. I guess it should work, right? Oh. It works now. Weird. Rockstar Launcher is not on Linux. Neither is Epic Games. But you run it through Wine's emulations and whatever. Oh, well. Should I just assume it worked? Okay. Oh my gosh, are we getting... Yeah, and these are... Yeah. Oh, no, don't do that. I'm just collecting these because... So in theory, on the setup info, I should be able to have extra options here. I'm not getting that. Like this right here. Maybe it's because I needed... This is the one. Okay, we're installing this now. Oh, hi. You came at the perfect time. You get to mock me again. Audio worked. You heard it. I don't know if you heard it. I heard it. So yeah, hi. You didn't jinx it this time. Ghost with Proton. Oh, it works for GTA 5. That'd be awesome. Yeah, no, I installed it multiple ways that it should work. The problem is that, well, yeah, that'd be awesome. Share it with me. I'll see if I can get it to work. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to do a guide on this because it's so bad that I just buy it on Steam. Let's see here, and then, oh, these are, okay. So cool. I think we're done. Let's go to the next part. You have to keep on restarting the chat. I don't know. Maybe it's YouTube. YouTube just loves to be annoying. What the heck?
Steam Deck with the
There we go. That was
method
weird.
of holding volume down and pressing power every time we want to access SteamOS, and pressing power to boot into Windows. Or we can continue to the next part of this tutorial, where we'll be installing a custom bootloader onto our Steam Deck that enables us to select between SteamOS and Windows with our own background and icons at one press of the power button. Make sure to follow along with my steps for this part, as the process must be completed in an orderly fashion in order to operate correctly. It may also help to use the same naming conventions as myself, so as to avoid confusion if you don't understand something. As for the custom bootloader we will be installing,
This live stream's been going on for way too long.
Refine page linked in the description, where some further reading is recommended if you would like to learn more about how this is all achieved in greater detail.
I trust you, man. You've got us this
First,
far.
we want to hold volume down and power to bring up our boot menu and boot into SteamOS. Once we are in SteamOS, press the Steam button and go to the desktop mode.
The cursed desktop mode. Okay, that's not bad. I know I complain about it a little bit too much, but it's still great. I'm not going to show on my device what's happening because it's the same thing what he just did.
When everything looks like it has loaded, close Steam.
Oh, let's hope that
right-click
Steam
the
opens.
icon at the bottom and select Exit Steam. Select System Settings from the icon next to Start and navigate to Users. Here we must change.
Bobby, I like desktop mode. I can't wait to try it. It's not touch friendly. I deal with I build UIs and stuff like that like all the time and work with graphical things all the time. It really bothers me that it's not as nearly touch friendly as I'd like to see it. That's why I complain about it. Honestly, it's amazing that we have the option and that I've been able to do so much in it. No, that's awesome. Thanks, Ghost, for for sharing that video. Okay. So we're going to exit out of Steam. Exit out of Steam. Okay. And then it wants us to go into...
Change the user password to something simple. Here, I chose PassW.
Oh. You can also just do password PASSWD inside of the terminal. Didn't know you could do it this way. And then, you know what? I'm probably... Don't mind me. I'm just going to...
Change the user password to something simple. Here, I chose PassW.
Um, so what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a dual boot loader. So whenever I power on the device, it will let me choose my operating system. So I don't have to hold it down and do that. Then the next step is to do the BTRFS.
which is 5 letters and nice and easy to remember. Once the password is saved, close the window and press Start, System, and bring up a console window. Now, for this part and onwards, we will be doing a little bit of typing, and everything entered must be exact to what I'm outputting on screen, and will be case sensitive. To begin, we want to type sudo BTRFS property set -ts.
Oh, never. Wait, no, yeah, we are doing the BTRS. Okay, cool.
Space / space RO false and press enter.
I don't want to.
Enter the password we just set. So pass W and press enter. It will look like nothing has been typed, so don't be alarmed if nothing is appearing.
Wow, his video's lagging a little bit. Sorry. Okay, let's see here. Set TS /row faults. Cool.
What this line has allowed us to do is disable the read-only of our drives that SteamOS populated and allows us to write to them. Next, type sudo pacman -key space -- init init and press enter. Wait a moment and type sudo pacman
We're setting up Pac-Man.
space -- populate arc linux and press enter.
I've already kind of done this before.
Next we want to
I
type
haven't tried
sudo
Minecraft yet, Bobby. I need to try that soon.
capital S refind. Make sure the S is a capital S and press enter.
Oh,
Here you will be asked if you want to
it's still setting up. I need to go back now. This is where I'm at right now. Okay.
Next we want to type sudo pacman capital S refind. Make sure the S is a capital S and press enter. Here you will be asked if you want to
Refine. Oh, refind. Okay.
download Refind onto your Steam Deck. Choose yes by typing Y and enter. After a brief moment and Refind downloads, we want to type sudo refind-install to install Refind to our EFI partition. This will be the SteamOS side of installation done for the moment. So we want to close the windows we've been using and shut down the Steam Deck. Hold volume down and power to get back into the boot menu. And
We're probably going to go to Windows. I'm sorry if I'm really quiet right now. I'm really getting tired now.
We can select this if we want, but for now, it is best that we get our Steam Deck looking nice and fancy and also stop using the volume down power button option whenever we want
But it's
to use our
amazing.
jewelry. So, boot back into Windows 11. If you're following this tutorial for Windows 10, the same steps apply, aside from minor differences when you have to right-click on things. Once you're on the desktop, click Search in the toolbar and find Command Prompt.
The good old command prompt. Okay, let's see here. Booting into Windows. Don't mind me. Play Bedrock. JTech, subscribe to the channel. Hey, well, thanks JTech for this sub. Now all you have to do is bash that bell with your crowbar to get updates all the time. You are getting to the fun part. Thanks, Jay.
Don't press Enter and instead select Run as Administrator.
Oh.
In the admin command prompt, type mount vol b : space /
Give me 1 second. That's always... Oh, wait. Okay, I can do it here. I was going to say. I can always just right-click right there and just do it. Okay. I can't read that. I have to expand this thing. Mount vol.
command prompt, type mount vol b : space /
Yeah, let's make sure that's the right drive letter, unless they're copying to a different drive. We're going to just do some. Yeah, what is he doing here?
lowercase s and press Enter.
I think he's creating a new...
This has now given us access to the hidden partition where we'll be making the magic happen.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Proofread it, please. No, we're just going to hit it. Okay. Windows likes to fight you with the EFI all the way. Oh, yeah. No, I would assume that Windows was. Windows isn't great at sharing that type of thing. Okay.
Before we close, we must type power cfg.exe space / hibernate off. Otherwise, whenever we try to shut down Windows with our next step, the Steam Deck will continue
that makes sense. Hibernate. Actually, it will be kind of fun to play some of the Windows games I haven't really played yet. That or just won't work on Steam Deck because of DRM.
booting back into Windows instantly. So, once that is typed, press Enter and close the command prompt. Next, we want to download a program called Explorer++, which is linked in the description. We can either download this on the Steam Deck or elsewhere and transfer via USB.
Man, I did this already. Give me 1 second. I had downloaded it on my main PC already. Going for the longest stream. Should we do a 24-hour stream? I won't get off until I make $2 in ad revenue. I'll pass on Fortnite. Hey, some people like Fortnite, and I guess they came out with a new... Okay. Yeah, you're just a nuisance to me now. I don't want a complete setup. I do like infomercial. Okay. Screw it. What? It's charging. There we go. Okay. Run that. Okay.
Extract the downloaded folder, as I have here, and enter.
Sorry, let's get the, okay, Jay, I would use Windows for PC, Game Pass, and Blizzard Launcher and Roblox. Those three things are big reasons why I prefer Windows. If Steam had Game Pass natively, I would be all right with that. Everyone, okay, your average Canadian gamer, welcome. Everyone who has not done so already, please smash that like button with a crowbar for Brink, all his amazing work, and also subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you. You know what? You were so kind. Let's do a 24 hours. Sounds like a very good idea. No, I have work to get done tomorrow, and I have a lot of work to get done. Your average Canadian gamer, I can't wait to get my Steam Deck in Q3 and try so many things on it. Huh, interesting. Okay, back to this.
Enter the folder for Explorer++. Here, we must right-click Explorer++ and run as administrator every time we want to use it. Once you're in Explorer++, extra closer to...
Okay, well, if that's the case, then we're going to just... Blam.
Attention must be paid towards what I'm performing on screen. We'll be taking it slow so that we get things right first time.
We're going to take it slow.
Double-click the drive called ESP-B.
So this is beyond dual boot, by the way, Ghost. This is dual boot where I can also share. I believe this is going to allow me to play games off an SD card that's BTRFS formatted on the Steam Deck and also are on the Linux and Windows. So,
and then enter the EFI folder. This is the main culprit for Windows booting first time every time, and we're about to change the way things work completely.
Ooh.
Right-click on the boot folder for Windows booting first time every time, and we're about to change the way things work completely. Right-click on the boot folder and rename this to boot.old. Next, right-click on an empty space and create a new folder. Rename this folder to boot.
What?
After you have done the folder stage, come over to this PC or my computer and enter the D drive called EFI. EFI again, and here you will see the refined folder that was installed by SteamOS earlier during our console command. My computer and enter the D drive called EFI. EFI again, and here you will see the refined folder that was installed by SteamOS earlier during our console commands.
His screen went blank. I think his edit went
Enter
wrong.
The folder, and you can see the EFI file that was the refined boot manager instance on our boot menu.
What?
We want to right-click.
Sorry, I just didn't mean to bark like that. I haven't heard anything about dual boot from Valve, but I bet it's not on the top of their priority. As SteamOS still needs tweaking. Who knows? Yeah, it's one of those things. Who knows what their priorities like? I'm sure they're going off of like what they want to do. So sorry, this thing went blank on me.
Find folder that was installed by SteamOS earlier during our console commands. Enter the folder, and you can see the EFI file that was.
I can't enter the folder, and it was just went blank for them. I'm just going to do a little bit of. Well, it lets me do it. I can do it in the terminal. I can't open it in here, though.
Find Boot Manager instance on our boot menu. We want to right-click this file and rename to bootx64.efi.
This step happened when I helped someone on Discord. Yeah, sorry. I'm not trying to ignore anyone, by the way. Once again, we're going to get through this.
Afterwards, we want to right-click the refined config file, open with, and choose.
Yeah, we're, let's see here. Maybe I chose the wrong one. Because I do have two. No, I chose the right one. Let's see here. FYI, Elite Dangerous is labeled as unplayable because all of the UI elements are unreadable at 800p. You have to know what would normally be there to play it. Well, they have a zoom in feature. They allow you to zoom in. Of course, Windows dual booting is not their priority list. It would be like supporting their competition. It's not really, because no matter what, if you use Steam on Windows and on the Steam OS, they're gonna make money. And they've so far releasing like some updated drivers and all that stuff. They've shown that they're willing to work and do more for Windows support than, you know. I think we retraced our steps and he got it to work. Might need to reboot and retry mounting it again. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If that's the case, then we're going to call it tonight. So remounting it inside of, okay, so just reboot Windows and remount. So just redo the Windows side. I can do that. Oh no, Ghost, this is a pain in the neck. Yes, this is just this type of tinkering anyways. So I'm gonna try one more quick thing. Well, here's the funny thing. I can. Well, I mean, I'm already dual booting a Ghost. I'm just trying to make it so that I can do the extra step. This is just more for extraness. This isn't. I've already got it dual booting. Yeah. Okay. So let's do what you said. Jay. I'm going to restart. So the thing is, I was able to go into the command prompt and actually access the folder through that. I just couldn't do it through any of the browser, like the file browsers. So I guess I could have renamed it there. But I just didn't want to, I didn't know what I was going to have to do further. Oh, man. Yeah, Jay, you're crazy. Or Rice. I know, you're the same person. I did it all before the tutorial video came out, so I had to do refind on my own. Lol. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Honestly, this is more for fun than anything, and I was getting tired of like sharing. I want to be able to share my games between the two. Yeah, we're getting late into this. We're also dropping a bunch of, I think, the Steam, or not Steam, but the live stream viewership is dropping and all that, which I don't, stick around, see what's going to happen. Maybe we'll call it. I don't know. Okay. Let's see here. Switch over to this. I just really hate that that's washing it out. Just what it is, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Wolf, this is going to be my longest stream, 100%. I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything wrong, too. That's the thing. Mount vol BS. And then
The magic happen. Before we close, we must type power.
Ghost, you heading out? Good night, man.
CFG.exe
funny.
space
Power CFG.exe space.
/ hibernate off. Otherwise,
Let me make sure I spelled that right. Power CFG.
whenever we try to shut down Windows with our next step, the Steam Deck will continue booting back into Windows.
Okay. I think I did it right. It's just hanging though. Oh, okay. That was weird.
Windows instantly. So, once that is typed, press enter and close the command prompt. Next, we want to download a program called Explorer++, which is linked in the description. We can either download this on the Steam Deck or elsewhere and transfer via USB. Extract the downloaded folder, as I have here, and enter the folder for Explorer++. Here, we must
and we've already done this.
Explorer++ and run as administrator every time we want to use it. Once you're in Explorer++, extra close attention must be paid towards what I'm performing on screen. We'll be taking it slow so that we get things right first time. Double click the drive called ESP-B and then enter the EFI folder. This is the main culprit for Windows booting first time every time, and we're about to change the way things work completely. Right click on the boot folder and rename this to boot.old.
Yeah, we've done that already. Just figured to make sure I did it right. Did it right.
Next, right click on an empty EFI again.
Yep. Okay, and then we're going to go into here. And there's the D drive for them. There we go. I think what happens is that it probably is a lock inside the system, and so the reboot is what fixes it. So,
and here you will see the refind folder that was installed by SteamOS earlier during our console commands.
Yeah, it goes black. So, I mean, if you see right here, his tutorial goes black right here. So if you're watching this, if you're going to do this, make sure to restart the device at this point. and then go, if you can't go into the folder, and then go through the mounting steps again, and then you should be able to go into the folder. I have a feeling there was just a system lock on it, which can happen in Windows. Can happen in any operating system, to be honest.
Enter the folder, and you can see the EFI file that was the refined boot manager instance on our boot menu. We want to right-click this file and rename to bootx64.efi. Afterwards, we want to right-click the refined config file, open with, and choose Notepad, making sure to select Always use this to open config files. We will see quite a long Notepad file where many configurations for the bootloader can be changed, and I'd advise not to alter anything other than what
Local
I am
mocha
showing
sounds tasty.
unless you know what you are doing. Scroll down about quarter of the way and you will see 4 resolution entries. Here we want to delete the hash symbol next to resolution 3.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do the find it.
This is so our boot manager becomes landscape when we activate it shortly.
Panda Express sounds really good right now.
Now, this part is important. We want to scroll down to the very end of the refined config in Notepad, and after the curly bracket, press Enter twice and type exactly as on screen. Menu entry, Windows, curly bracket, Enter, press the Tab key on your keyboard and type loader /EFI deck boot.
Did you do a tab on that?
.ef.
Hey guys, I'm older than, well, I'm almost older than everyone here. I think there's some people here that I'm not going to mention that are older than me. Let's see.
Enter, press the Tab key on your keyboard.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And type loader /EFI deck boot mgfw.efi. This is the fallback EFI file that Refind will present on screen or when we make our Steam.
Okay, just making sure. Playing those built-in games on Windows 98. Nice.
Bootable. Next, press Enter for a new line. Tab and type icon /EFI boot icons os _ win8.png. Make sure the 2 boots are different. Loader should have a capital B and icons should have a lowercase b.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I did everything right, by the way. I'm just double checking. Here, I'll let you see it too. See? There it is. I'll zoom it in. Okay. I miss Flash Player. I'm so glad I didn't learn to program it. I almost went into programming that, and it died. I'm glad I did not learn that. Let's see here. Because the animations were just so fancy back then. I'm surprised. It's taken us a while to get back into getting those. Okay.
Press Enter and close this entry with a curly bracket. Once you have altered the config file, press either Ctrl S or File and Save. Close the config for now. In our Refine folder, we want to drag and highlight all the files and press Copy. Close this folder and paste the files into B, EFI, boot. Now simply close Explorer++ and shut down the system. Now, we're almost there, but not done yet. If you try to turn on the Steam Deck, you will see that we still boot into Windows, even with all the changes we've just made. So let's just take a moment to understand what we have just done with the B drive. Windows as the default boot always searches for. You will see that we still boot into Windows, even with all the changes we've just made. So let's just take a moment to understand what we have just done with the B drive. Windows as the default boot always searches for the boot mgfw EFI file whenever we turn on the Steam Deck, located in the Microsoft folder. So how do we avoid this? Well, if we rename the Microsoft folder to Deck as specified in our refined config, then Windows will be unable to find boot mgfw.efi. From here, Windows will search for the fallback EFI file
So Jay,
called boot x64.efi.
So Jay, is the fun part over with now?
Located in the
So by the way, Wolf, Apple single-handedly killed Flash Player, partially because it wasn't secure. It had a lot of security issues.
folder. So by replacing the boot folder where boot x64 is located and renaming our refined boot manager EFI, we are telling Windows to boot from the refined EFI file instead. So to do this, we need to do two things on Windows and SteamOS. First, plug in your Windows USB,
Hey, I've already done it.
hold volume down and press power, selecting your Windows USB. Wait for it to load while turning your deck portrait. Once you're on the installation screen, we want to press Shift and F10 to bring up a command prompt.
Yeah, okay. I need to shut down again. So what you're seeing on here, like on this tutorial, is pretty much what I'm getting over here on my computer or Steam Deck, which it's a PC. Yes, but it's you still got to do the recovery part to rename the folder. Yeah, Jay, I did skim through this video already, so yeah. Yeah, me. Death of the Flash ruined my childhood as well. See, Ghost, this is the only way to do it. Like, this is, you get an intimate relationship with your device when you dual boot this way. I agree, Wolf, actually. Apple, I like it being there for competition and all that, but they do piss me off sometimes.
To bring up a command prompt. Once you're on the installation screen, we want to press Shift and F10 to bring up a command prompt.
So my keyboard's the Keytron, so I don't have an easy way to do F10. Okay, let's see here. How do I do the F10 again? Is that function 1 or 2? It's function 2.
Mount the B drive by typing mount vol b:/s and press enter. Next, we need to type cd /d b:/EFI and press enter. This will now be the folder where we are currently. You can see we are in this folder by typing dir to see the list of directories inside the EFI folder on our B drive. What we want to do here is rename the Microsoft folder to deck as specified in the refined config. Make sure to type this with the capital M and D, otherwise it won't work.
Ooh, I did not spell that right.
Type ren Microsoft deck and press enter. Type
And I ruined it all.
and enter, and you can see our Microsoft folder is
It's
now
now
full,
deck.
and Windows will be unable to find the boot mgfw.efi file, and instead boot to the renamed, refined boot x64 EFI file found in our boot folder. So close everything and the Steam Deck will restart. Everything and the Steam named, refined boot x64 EFI file found in our boot folder. So close everything. Windows will be unable to find the boot mgfw.efi file, and instead boot to the renamed, refined boot x64 EFI file found in our boot folder. So close everything and the Steam Deck will restart.
Cool.
What will happen is you will see the refined boot manager in portrait mode with none of what we have just done working as it should. But this is easily fixed by selecting the first icon in the list called steamcl.efi and booting by pressing A. This is the EFI file for SteamOS that boots our operating system, like our EFI file for Windows. Once SteamOS has loaded,
well, it booted into SteamOS.
press the Steam button and go to the desktop. Here, we want to open a console window again via Start and System. Now type sudo EFI boot mgr. Enter your password and press.
Well, it didn't do the same thing for me, so, but you know what? We're going to just follow what they're doing anyways. We'll get there. Oh my gosh, IT Crowd's awesome. I do love that show. If you have not seen that on Netflix, you gotta watch it. Okay, let's see here. Sudo EFI boot manager.
Enter.
We're so
Here,
close, guys.
You will see a list and what is currently set to boot first by our Steam Deck. We can see Refined Boot Manager is the first option via boot order.
So mine's not that. I think I screwed something up. We are going to go ahead and restart the device. Oh, Ghost. Yeah, my library is disgusting. So, Yeah, so Jay Rice, I'm not getting the same thing that he's showing. It's not showing my boot order with that. And it's yeah, it's booting into just Steam now. SteamOS. Father Ted. Yeah, that sounds funny. I'd like that, I bet. I'd assume that if you were atheist, you'd find it even funnier. I did not break it. You can still see it boots in the SteamOS. It's just, it's not doing what I'm expecting it to do. So we're going to have to backtrack a little bit.
Enter your password and press enter. BFI in portrait mode with none of. What will happen is you will see the refined boot manager in portrait mode with none of what we have just done working as it should. But this is easily fixed by selecting the first icon in the list called steamcl.efi and booting by pressing A. This is the EFI file for SteamOS that boots our operating system, like our EFI file for Windows. Once SteamOS has loaded, press the Steam button and go to the desktop.
Oh boy.
We want to open a console window again via Start and System. Now type sudo.
Okay, Jay. You need to have it boot into Refined. If you shut down and do the volume and power, there is a new boot device you need to have it boot into. I'm not seeing that per se, am I? Unless that's the second. Is it the second one? We'll try that one then, I guess. Necrosphere, good night, man. Sorry we couldn't get to it. Okay, there we go. Maybe it's different now. Maybe this is a newer version than what he was using. But thanks for holding out to this long. You're more than welcome to watch the rest of it tomorrow, which at this date, who knows? Okay, so I'm gonna. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna look up what his said.
The first icon in the list called steamcl.efi.
Yeah, that's the one I have. Okay.
And booting by pressing A. This is the EFI file for SteamOS that boots our operating system, like our EFI file for Windows.
I'm not getting the same thing he's showing per se. I think
SteamOS is loaded.
I think my Refine's newer.
And go to the desktop. Here, we want to open a console window again via Start and System. Now type sudo.
Here's your AdSense, Denver. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the donation. It's always helpful and very, very useful. I need to start putting a place like for what people want to see me do next with the money. Jay, couldn't he just leave those there? Oh. Just hit shut down. Whatever. We'll go back through that. It's no big deal. No big deal. My mistake is now going to be getting ad time. So ad while I mumble and grumble for some of you guys. So apologies. Okay, we're booting back in. We're almost there. Yeah, I don't think everyone's going to get go drink some coffee. That would be a horrible idea. I already drank coffee late enough today. I'm going to have to go take some melatonin to sleep. I'm more like, I'm not tired from like necessarily being late because it's getting later for me. I'm tired because I have been when I stream, I get really excited and it's draining. So I am exhausted from just being mildly entertaining. The Force is a great game. Dead Space is I do want to do a video on like stuff I recommend getting on Steam. So like Dead Space and like holds up really well still. The Valve bundle, like most Half-Lives, hold up really well. I definitely recommend those. Let's see, actually. Nice. I love how it retains the state. It's not the same list. It does go on sale often, and I don't think it's actually that expensive.
EFI, boot, MGR. Enter your password and press enter. Here you will see a list and what is currently set to boot first by our Steam Deck. We can see Refined Boot Manager is the first option via...
It's not though. Maybe it's the Steam OS's? No. I think it's that second one is actually the boot manager. I renamed it and everything like that. I don't think it... Yeah.
A boot order, which is great, but not what we want with our custom boot, which is actually the second option in the list, EFI hard drive.
Oh.
So to apply this, we type
Good.
sudo EFI boot MGR hyphen the letter O 1, 0, 3 and press enter. Now we have fixed the issue of booting.
Okay. I think yeah, the duck game looks pretty interesting that he wants to do. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is the first game. I actually like the Dragon Ball games. Is that, in fact, I have a Dragon Ball shirt. It's more of an iconic kind of thing. But the reason I like this shirt so much is that it's the original Suicide Squad. And it's got, yeah. That's why I love this shirt, is that it's hilarious. I got Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I really want to play it on here and see how it plays. I'm getting it on my deck soon. Okay, let's verify this before I go crazy. Sudo EFI boot manager 0101, and it looks like it's about in the same positions as mine, so it should run fine. So when I run this command, or not. Oh yeah, no, F that. I did not. Okay, I can't see. I have to move this. Okay, let's see here. So they're 1, 3. Okay. So essentially I'm not seeing what it swapped, so I'm assuming this is swapping it, right? $103, and it says 3 does not exist. And I'm trying to just decide or figure out boot current 0. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I figured I'm changing boot order, Jay. I just don't know. Is it swapping? Is the 3 number swapping it? It kind of... No, I inputted it correctly. I got an error, though, that it wasn't put in correctly, though.
Booting into our portrait refind, and instead boot into the refind we copy and pasted earlier into our B drive with the config changes. Now shut down or restart the Steam earlier and instead 1, 0, 3 and press enter.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that again.
EFI hard drive. So to apply this, we type sudo EFI boot mgr hyphen the letter O 1, 0, 3.
Zero, 1, 2. There's not a 3 in the normal boot order, so he has an extra boot. One, 0, 2. So do I want 102? Cool. I messed it up. Now everything's going to break. No, I'm just kidding. I think I got it right. I think I swapped it right. Where is hi? Oh, there's hi. I was going to say tech support. Look at the third line, boot order. That's what is changing with the command. Yeah. I think I did it right.
Now we have fixed the issue of booting into our portrait refind.
Maybe. 0, 1, 0, 0, 2. Okay, yeah. No, I did it right. There's an extra drive on his or something. I don't know. Guess we'll figure it out.
Boot into the refind we copy and pasted earlier into our B drive with the config changes. Now shut down or restart the Steam Deck and you will see the landscape version of Refind appear upon turning on your Steam Deck. Mine is looking like this because I swapped my background PNG file while filming. I'll now show you how you can get your Steam Deck looking how you want, and honestly, I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with in
Q3 gang, Unity!
in getting their boot manager looking how they want it to. The left option on the boot manager is always SteamOS via the steamcl.efi file, and the right will be Windows via the boot mgfw.efi file, all under the boot x64.efi. So select the right choice from Refind to boot into Windows again. You will see that there is a slight graphical glitch when loading Windows, and we are looking for ways on how to fix this.
We'll go through this again.
Via the boot mgfw.efi
file. It auto boots if you don't select. So it's auto booting into something now. It's just booting into Steam.
Select the right choice from Refind to boot into Windows again. You will see that there is a slight graphical glitch when loading Windows, and we are looking for ways on how to fix this. It only lasts a moment before the login and desktop screen appears.
So yeah, it's gonna.
Once on the desktop,
it's gonna boot into Steam.
Prompt as admin and type mount vol b : /s and press enter. Navigate to where Explorer++ is located, right-clicking and running as admin to open. Enter the BEFI boot directory and create a folder called Themes. We want to paste the Refind minimal theme found in the description into our themes folder.
Okay, let's see here. Let's figure out the Windows one. Actually, yeah, which one of these do I boot into?
Boot x64.efi currently running. So, select the right choice from Refind to boot into Windows again. You will see that there is a slight graphical glitch when loading Windows, and we are looking for ways on how to fix this.
I'm pretty sure this is
It only lasts a moment before the
Nope.
login and desktop screen appears.
Nope, that was not right. Does it want me to boot in the old one or the new one?
Again, you will see how you're looking. On the right will be Windows via the boot mgfw.efi file, all under the
I don't know which one of these to press. CNP, I don't know. Knumfum. Yeah, that's fine. I'll delete it later. I'm just don't know which one to do next on this step. So let's boot old. Should we try this one? Did not work. This is booting into old Windows, so I don't know if that's right. Windows right now. But this is using the old Windows settings, so I don't know if that's good or not. Obviously didn't work. I don't know, man. I'm not 100% sold that this is going to work, Jay. Rice. I'll delete delete the boot management options later. Let's see here. So this is the Steam one. Let's see. Interesting. Yeah, that's the grub. This is the one that I was assuming was it, but I clicked it and it did not work. So this is the one I initially did. His thing doesn't help me at all. We'll try this one. Yep, that one's the right one.
The boot x64.efi currently running. So select the right choice from Refind to boot into Windows again. You will see that there is a slight graphical glitch when loading Windows.
I booted in the right
We
one.
are looking for ways on how to fix this.
I clicked the wrong one, and then by clicking the wrong one, it unvalidated the other one. I had to just restart.
Before the login and desktop screen appears. Right-clicking and running as admin.
Cool. Select the right choice. I like your thinking, Wolf. Okay. Run this as admin. Oh, wait. Before we run that as admin, we need to run the...
To open. Enter.
Yeah. Mount. Ball. BS. There's some BS there.
Navigate to where Explorer++ is located. Right-clicking and running as admin to open.
I don't think it worked.
Enter
Maybe I did it too quick.
EFI boot directory and create a folder called Themes.
Yeah, I did that wrong or something. Oh. Yeah, in my rushing, I did not. I don't think I did command prompt on this one. So mount vol BS. Okay. There we go. Actually, yeah, at what point I do go into boot and I don't see themes.
Right clicking and running as admin. Enter the BEFI boot directory.
That Windows icon is booting into Windows. Amazing. Well, you didn't have to be a jerk about it, but no. So here's the thing. Like what he was talking about in the pathing lined up more with another one that had a little link. Yeah. So I kind of figured the Windows one was my next choice after what he kind of talked about.
And create a
Okay, yeah, do that, Jay.
called Themes. EFI boot directory and create a folder called Themes.
Which I don't have.
We want to paste the refined minimal theme found in the description into our themes folder. In here, you can see I have simply replaced the default background.png file with one of my own made in Photoshop.
Themes.
Ensure you have the correct resolution when saving and ensure it is as saved PNG. In here, you can
Okay. And then I'm gonna add let's see. He said something about the themes here. Do I just download this whole thing? Clone this repo to the themes directory to enable the theme add. Cool. So just go ahead and download this. Install it onto the drive I just inserted, which I think is this one. Or download it, whatever. By the way, I found out that after using dual booting, if Windows restarts for update, it will mess up your Windows and you won't be able to boot into it anymore. I re-imaged the Windows twice already. Yeah, that's why I haven't gone into, I haven't opened up my Wi-Fi yet. I'm going to disable auto updating. I'm just not going to, yeah. Perfect, too. So let's see, what was he saying?
to open.
I've gone back and forth so many times.
Called Themes.
Yep.
We want to paste the refined minimal theme found in the description into.
Okay. Wait. It's because it is not, or it's zipped up. It doesn't let me unzip into there. Nope, it just does not let me paste in there. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. Just doesn't allow for drag and drop, apparently.
To our themes folder.
Simple. You're back. How's it going on the progress? We're about done with the themes section.
Background.png file with one of my own made in Photoshop. Ensure you have the correct resolution when saving, and ensure it is as saved as background.
Okay, we're not. I don't have the permissions to view this. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna leave it as this if that's fine. Like I'll customize this later. I don't care.
.png. In the icons folder next to background, we can see all the icons that the theme will display for various operating systems. You can see I have created two icons called OS_unknown for Steam and OS_Win8 for Windows. Make sure these icons.
What? Where are those at? Yeah. I mean, we're pretty much done. We're right now just theming the bootloader. I think we're done. This is going on a long time. Let's see. Yeah, that's further reading just to understand how Refined works.
Next to background, we can see
Sorry.
all the icons that the theme will display for various operating systems. You can see I have created two icons called OS_unknown for Steam and OS_Win8 for Windows. Make sure these icons are 128 by 128 when you save them in Photoshop. To have these icons with our background,
You don't need to do it in Photoshop.
we drag and copy these custom images into our theme.
I'm not
folder
doing this tonight,
and
by the way.
overwrite the originals. From here, we want to backtrack to BEFI boot, open our refined config, and type the following above our Windows menu entry that we wrote.
I think this is just for adding this extra feature or other things.
Themes /refined minimal, or whatever your theme is called, /theme.conf.
Okay, well, we'll include the theme, but I'm not going to. Right? Or is this going to mess up? Jay, is this. I don't want to do the icons tonight. It's. I don't mind. I just want to take my time. Like, I don't. Unless they are somewhere I can download, I'm not going to create them. I don't mind. I want to take my time to create the icons in the background. I don't want to just do it rushed. Let's see. Maybe someone knows. I'm just looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for. Okay. I just want those icons. Because I feel like if I put that include theme in there, icons is just to make it look pretty as long as it works. Do icons later. Okay, that's fine, Jay. So do I include the theme then like that? While you're answering, I'm just going to do it. Let's see here. Yeah, copy the theme.conf to that folder. I think it's in that folder. Yeah, right there. So oh, minimal main. I know why it's main though. It's because I downloaded it from the repo, from the main. Okay. No, that's right.
Save the configuration file, and once you're happy with your custom icons, we can go ahead and reboot or shut down the Steam Deck one last time.
What icons are there available? So we'll just do this one. If you, okay, you can't see my. Oof. OS Win 8, I think is. Yeah. And then
Save the configuration.
did I? He's using forward slashes. Is that fine? This is Windows. So the backslashes are what? So it's gosh. Whatever. I'm gonna do what he's doing. Even though. Boot themes. Okay, I think that's good.
Configuration file, and once you're happy with your custom icons, we can go ahead and reboot or shut down the Steam Deck one last time. /theme.conf. Save the configuration file, and once you're happy with your custom icons, we can go ahead and reboot or shut down the Steam Deck one last time.
I mean, this is good enough for now, and I think I did it right.
Pressing the power button, you can see our Steam Deck is now running as we expect it to run, with our own background and icons for SteamOS and Windows. If you ever want to customize the background, resize icons, when you want to freshen things up a bit, just repeat the retheming steps for replacing files in Windows via mounting the B drive and using Explorer++ to achieve your desired look. Now, before we end the video, I want to explain a few things regarding this method. The Steam Deck bootloader will now always auto-boot the last operating system you were using if if you don't make a choice within 10 to 15
I
seconds.
do like that it auto boots.
To avoid this and stay on the bootloader screen,
I actually like
move
that
the
it.
D-pad between choices, and you will remain on the bootloader.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So go ahead and load up either SteamOS or Windows and get installing all of your games.
Beautiful.
Now
It
that you
didn't
have
load
a
up
Steam
the
Deck
background
configured to your
right.
liking.
Oh no.
I hope this tutorial has been helpful. Getting your Steam Deck dual booted with a custom bootloader.
Yeah, I don't think the path's right that he gave. So I'll debug that later. It's fine.
That you can change to your liking. You can support my work by
Okay. Yeah, no, you could, Mr. Coleman. Yeah, you could dual boot about anything if you have the proper boot manager system. Dual boot on SD. I believe you can dual boot it on SD card. I just actually that'd be kind of fun to do, or boot into the SD card just for fun. But no, this is disgusting, and this is not how it's supposed to look. Yeah, let's see what that command was from Rice, and then I'm gonna. So Rice, where do I add that? Oop. Oh well, I think that's booting into Windows. Yeah, so let's add those things real quick, Rice. And then we're going to end this stream because this is going to be a 4-hour stream at this point. Yeah, no, I get that, Jay. And that's what I've heard. But I've heard actually okay things. Yeah, no, but sorry, at where oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna move this over here because I need it. Mount vol B. Okay. Ooh. Even remembered where I was last. So, are you sure I want to do it with forward slashes, Rice? Because what you DM'd me, these are forward slashes on the path. I don't think that's correct, right? Unless, let's see, where I was doing the icons. So I'm assuming the menu entry Windows that's just for modifying the menu entry for Windows. Would I want to do it at the end or before it? I don't know if it'd even matter that much. Let's see. CMP, the comp files has forward slashes as well. So when it's outside the forward slash, okay. That's just for when Windows is reading it, is when it's in that Windows conf. Makes sense. Hey, thanks for that. So far, I mean, I can get by with what it's showing. Like, I'm pretty sure I can boot into either one. Yeah, it all depends on where, I'm assuming. So since it's the Windows entry, it needs to be in backslashes, I guess. Sorry, I'm just... Okay. Grub x64, boot VM Linux, Neptune, EFI, Microsoft boot. Okay, cool. I believe that's right. Themes. Yeah, I think that's right too. Joke, sorry. Okay. In the end, I'm sure this is going to work, but in the end, we're going to call it. It's dual booting. It's doing what it needs. I can pretty up later. It's not a big deal. Let's just see what it looks like. Beautiful. No, I didn't remove. So that's the Windows. Well, I will play around with this later. That is not the correct one. Oh well, I will mess around with this later. So no biggies. I'm pretty sure with just a little bit of work, I can get it to break just like that. So, lol. So, blind eye. I made dinner and ate it, but it looks like you made progress. No, it's dual booting. You've already seen it, and we were kind of working on the theming. The theming kind of got messed up, but honestly, I don't care about the theme too much. I'll learn to deal with this, and then get, I'm sure, sick of it after like a month and fix it. So with that, we're going to end this because it is almost midnight for me, and I need to get to bed and get up and do all the stuff I need to get done tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Let me, I'd say no in the comments below. I guess if you watch this whole thing, this 4-hour thing, then let me know in the comments below. But you guys are already commenting. Yes, I agree, Jay. AK Rice. After party in Discord, like always, go there, throw a party GIF out or something like that, and we're going to call it for the night. I'll be there for a few minutes, and then I'm going to bed. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for this has been the longest adventure of this type of thing yet, and there's just so much more to talk about with all the cool devices coming out, even though I think they're crazy for doing it, like the Aya Neo Next too. Yeah, you guys have definitely changed my mind a little bit. I think it looks cool. I don't think it's going to be comfortable, and we'll see how good it is. I do think the new 6000 series is going to be awesome, though. So, okay. Thanks, guys, for watching. Check you guys out later. Check out my other videos and all the shebang stuff that I have to say, I guess. And Discord.